It is Gator belts and Patty Melts and Monte Carlo.
These little bitches keep posting.
Waking up out of my slumber, feeling like Rollo. So follow. It's showtime at the Apollo minus the Kiki Shepherd. With
Places like post anything, they just keep posting.
Cooler than Freddie Jackson, sipping a milkshake in a snowstorm. Left I throw warm in the dorm room at the AU. We paid to athletes.
How many houses this place got?
Mistaken with them statements that you make.
Yeah, holy shit, this is the first time I fucking scrolled through it and I'm like, it's like, okay, when's it gonna stop? Still going, still going.
And then there's secret rooms on top of secret rooms.
Oh my god, that fucking great.
That's the first time I've seen that picture.
I own yellow 7 9 civilians on display. Go hooked it up, oh my god, dip my rim today.
So how ugly am I, dude?
I wouldn't fuck you if I was.
Wait, hold on, no, I'm uglier than.
Hey, look. I'm ugly, so I don't care. I don't give a shit.
I misspelled slowly.
Those huge baby eyes get to running off at their mouth and telling me everything that's on your nasty mind. They say you're malnutrition, then need
Well, does it make you sad when I call myself a...
I'm saying it about myself, though. I'm saying it to
Thank you.
But my feelings don't get hurt, though, Jackie.
Yeah, he's a psychopath. Thank you, Landon.
Jackie, you're too sweet for this place. Like your heart is too you're just too much of a sweetheart.
Yeah, I agree. I actually agree with Lee, Jackie. This place is too.
I'm just being honest. I think you're too nice, and I don't want you to have expectations. No, I'm not trying to protect you. I'm actually complimenting you. No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. Just in general. It's the expectations, Archer. Like, she has expectations, right? But they're not going to be met because people on here are just garbage, right?
You want names, Archer?
Yeah, did anybody treat her poorly? Seriously?
Well, not right now, Archer. But when she first came in, they did.
I would like to know so I could yell at them for that.
The Nora. I mean, it's not important right now. But the Nora, what do you mean? I don't know, man. People just don't seem to appreciate the beard. I don't know what it is, but.
Will you let other people talk, Lee? Jesus.
Your beard sucks.
Hey, listen, hey. It's whatever, man. Hey. I'm proud. I'm ugly and proud, you know? I'm proud.
Oh,
Here-
I'm
here's
ugly.
the-
Fucking
Here's an old.
Except you, Bacon. You're alright, Bacon.
Landon.
Lee, would you let me run my fingers
through your
The Nora's being nice.
I mean, come on, Jackie.
That's good.
It's kind of old. It's alright if Bacon does it because it's funny. It's funny when Bacon does it, but Leech just fucking overbearing, just keeps doing it. Talking about who gets.
Man, what the heck are you talking about?
Talking about this shit's getting old.
What? What is? Like what?
Damn. Landon, why won't you say hi to
really off them vitamins.
Oh, hey, Jackie.
Hey yo, this is Box.B.Ballin.up.now on IG, fam. You guys gotta go bump that new Shock France mixtape, fam. That shit's hard, fam. Real shit, fam.
That protein shake.
So made her look so stupid. It's funny.
Lead, I got some bad news for you. I'm uglier than you, and people hate me more than you. So get wrecked. So
Go Texas guy, Landon, and you just go take care of your farm. Take care of your cows, all right?
Yeah, at least I got something.
Take care of your chickens, man. You know what I mean?
I said everyone's beauty can be.
Nah, I mean blood.
oh, maybe. Okay, sorry, Nicole. I apologize. It wasn't Nicole.
My beauty
You're
can be
feeling
enhanced
me,
if I'm
blood.
with you, Nicole.
I'm sorry.
Inside.
Yeah, beauty's in the inside. That's true.
It's all irrelevant.
Landon,
What?
just tell Luke to go take.
The outside is a reflection of what's
I am
on the
taking
inside.
care of my goats. Anyways,
The
listen.
outside
Yeah, I
body
know
is a
you're taking care of
reflection
your goats.
of what is on the inside, right? Like fat people are
Oh my
fat
God,
or
P-Mars.
some shit because like they got horrible depression
Lee,
and
I know you're taking care of your
Oh
goats.
my God, PR, that's the biggest. That's the best troll that I've heard.
Well,
You
it's
should
true.
pull that off in the
No,
episode.
it's
Yeah,
true.
your outward appearance can be a reflection of what you think about yourself, probably. So, like, if you're unkept and unclean and you don't shower, maybe it's more of a reflection about how people see themselves. Like, people don't value themselves enough to take care of themselves. And so when
True.
I see that outward appearance of, like, not taking care of themselves,
Yeah, like that.
makes me sad because it's less about their personality and more about how they see themselves.
Yeah, it was like that South
That's
African
right.
guy last night.
That's
So
true.
Lee, all she's saying is you have to shower and you'll be all right.
Jackie, tell Lee. Hey, Jackie, tell Lee. that-
Is this what's gonna happen? You
Hey,
guys
I
are gonna
know
try and
you-
try and shoot at me? Is that what it is? Try and make fun of me?
Tell Lee that I know he takes care of his goats.
Jackie, you're laughing at me. Is that okay? You're laughing at me.
No, I'm not
Take care of your
You
goats.
are laughing at me, Jackie. Don't try it.
I
Come
wasn't laughing at you. I'm
worry,
laughing at the situation.
Don't worry, Jackie. I'll
You
forgive
know
you.
the difference
Jackie,
between
you can
me
do what
and
you want. You can insult me as much as you want. You have
I don't want to insult
you,
you.
you have the
I've never
pass.
been
You've
banned.
got the pass. All right.
I don't want to insult anyone.
You know the difference between
My
me
feel
and you,
my
Lee,
my feelings
is
don't
that,
get hurt easily. You
I've
see.
never been banned from
Lee,
Tom's.
Lee, that's
I've never been
ridiculous.
banned
He's
from
not going to insult you. And Landon's trying to talk to you, Lee. So
Landon's a waste of space. I don't care
I
about
want to
Landon.
insult you because I want you to
I am
feel
a
the
waste of
pain
space.
that I
But
feel.
that ain't what your mom said.
Oh, you want them to feel the pain that you feel, Mars?
Yeah, misery loves company, my nigga.
Oh my god, I
That
had
ain't what your
Rooster
mom
lowered.
said,
I'm
Lee.
sorry, Rooster. Was I ever talking over you, dude? I had you lowered.
That's
I was trying to
Landon.
talk about-
His name's
Sorry,
Landon.
man.
so
No,
Lydia,
I
just
call him Rooster, man. I like Rooster.
Yeah, everybody just calls me Landon. But that's alright. You can call me Rooster if you want to.
I'm sorry, buddy. I had you turned down. I didn't realize that, man.
Yo, do you listen to
That's
Ko
alright,
Wetzel? Landon.
Who?
Ko Wetzel?
What is that?
It's some Texas singer.
I'm not from
Why
Texas.
don't you
shit,
listen
where you
to some random Texas singer, bruh?
So where are you from then?
I'm not telling my. I ain't telling
Oh,
this
alright.
place,
That's
so you get
okay.
me.
That's fine. You don't have to. I
What's
respect
your
it.
credit card number?
Here, you want my social security?
But you sound like you're from the south.
Just your mother's
I am
maiden
in the
name. That's
South.
it. Just the mother's maiden.
I am in the South, though. I'm a Southerner.
What was your childhood nickname?
Southerner. That's why you're so. That's why you're like this, Landon.
I can't give you my nickname because it'll dox me. Because it's part of my last
It's
name.
Landon Marianne.
Sounds like you're from Texas.
I'm not from Texas, though. I'm from
Georgia.
I'm from a different state. I'm not going to say it on this server.
No, it's not
offense
Georgia,
to the
for
server
sure.
owner. But I know how it goes around here. I'm not.
Oh hell yeah! That's how it definitely goes on around here. I mean, I knew that.
He's from Kentucky.
Oh.
Just by searching the fucking chat. You can see
He's
what
from
goes on in this
the
place.
state of denial.
Dick.
Texas? You're from West Texas?
Oh, he's from Oklahoma.
I did live in Kansas City when I was.
No, man, he's from Kentucky, out back
New
in the
York
still.
City.
I'm not going to say.
Bacon,
where I'm
that was a good
from.
accent.
I did live in Kansas City. Junction. It's called Junction City.
More pecani sauce. Let's use mine. Well, that isn't paste pecani sauce. What's the difference? Paste is made from fresh vegetables and spices. By folks in San Antonio who know what pecani sauce should taste like.
Well, this stuff's made in New York City.
New York City! Stranger, I hope you can beat a full house. Pick up the original. Pick up the paste.
Amazing. New York City.
People talking about fucking.
Yeah,
marrying
Godless
people.
asked you what makes it immoral, and you were just talking about, oh, it was a different
It had
time
nothing
then.
to do with morals. That's what
People live longer now. That had nothing to do.
Nothing
with
to
the
do with
question.
morals at all. Because moral is just, you know, what you believe
Still
in your
don't
household.
understand.
You can't push that on other people.
You just don't understand what was being asked.
No, wait,
Leaf wants to be manhandled.
Sleep.
Lee,
It was a never-ending conversation.
Nicole,
You get it?
why would you say that?
Lee, did you know that Covidian wrecked these guys on a
Would it be better
Really?
to die a free man or to live as a slave?
Covidia did because they were trying to claim that you could burn.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, they were like, yeah, it could burn, and it burns because I said it burns. Meanwhile, they show me that it burns, and they talking about skin burn.
Yeah, like wet concrete can burn your skin, but no, it will not burn it.
Oh, they went. It was fucking great. They couldn't admit they were wrong. I
But
love it.
it's more of a drying out of the skin than it is like a burn from a fire.
Sounds like another one of Archer's semantical arguments.
It's like a chemical burn. It burns. It gets into your little cracks in your skin and actually burns you.
Yeah, that's why you want to duct tape the bottom of your shoes to the pants, because if it gets inside your shoe, woo!
If it gets in the shoe, woo!
Just concrete.
Yo, I'm getting ready to put y'all up on something, man. Yo, when you see something ill, you know what I mean? That shit is woke. Anything ill you see is woke. Nigga have a big 6 at the curb, that's woke, okay? Especially if he got the fully equipped kid on it, it's woke. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I had this bad bitch uptown, she was woke. Had me fucked up in the head, I mean, whoa. Bought the bitch diamonds and pearls, I mean. Whoa. Should've seen them shit shining on the wrist. Whoa. Now money ain't a problem, see my dough is like. Whoa. Pulled out my bankroll on y'all niggas like. Whoa. Lost the boots, went from 210th like. Whoa. Faggot wanna peep my blueprints, I'm like. Whoa. Had to hit the brakes on y'all.
Whoa, God, that shit's terrible.
Pay attention and listen real closely how I break this slang shit down. Check it, my weed smoke is my lie. A Kia Coke is a pie. When I'm lifted, I'm high. With new clothes on, I'm fly. Cars is whips and sneakers is kicks. Money is chips, movies is flicks. Also cribs is homes, jacks is payphones. Cocaine is nose candy, cigarettes is bones. A radio is a box, a razor blade is an ox. Fat diamonds is rocks and jakes is cops. And if you got robbed, you got stuck, you got shot, you got bucked. And if you got double crossed, you got fucked. Your bankroll is your poke, a chokehold is a yoke, a kite is a note, a con is an okie doke. And if you got punched, that mean you got snuff. So clean is to buff, a bull scare is a strong bluff. I know you like the way I'm freaking it. I talk with slang and I'ma never stop speaking it.
Speak with criminal slang.
That's just the way that I talk, yo.
Vocabulary spills, I'm ill. Speak with criminal slang.
That's just the way that I talk, yo.
Vocabulary spills, I'm ill.
Yo, a burglary is a joke, a wolf's a crook. More deep already explained the meaning of shook. If you caught a felony, you caught an F. If you got killed, you got left. If you got the dragon, you got bad breath. If you 730, that mean you crazy. Hit me on the hit means page me. Ain't you dust is sherm. If you got AIDS, you got the germ. If a chick gave you a disease, then you got burned. Max mean to relax. Guns and pistols is gas. Condoms is hats. Critters is cracks. The food you eat is your grub. A victim's a mark. A sweat box is a small club. Your ticket's your heart. Your apartment is your pad. Your old man is your dad. The studio is the lab. And heated is mad. I know you like the way I'm freaking it. I talk with slang and I'ma never stop speaking it.
Speak with criminal slang.
That's just the way that I talk, yo.
Vocabulary spills, I'm ill. Speak with criminal slang.
That's just the way that I talk, yo.
Vocabulary spills, I'm ill.
The iron horse is the training. Champagne is bubbly. A deuce is a honey that's ugly. If your girl is fine, she's a dime. A suit is a fine. Jewelry is shine. If you in love, that mean you blind. Genuine is real. A face card is $100 bill. A very hard long stare is a grill. If you sneaking to go see a girl, that mean you creeping. Smiling is cheesing. Bleeding is leaking. Begging is bumming. If you nothing, you coming. Taking orders is sunning. An ounce of coke is an onion. A hotel's a telly. A cell phone's a celly. Jealous is jelly. Your food box is your belly. So gorilla mean to use physical force. You took an L, you took a loss. To show off main floss. I know you like the way I'm freaking it. I talk with slang and I'ma never stop speaking it.
Speak with criminal slang.
That's just the way that I talk, yo.
Vocabulary spills, I'm ill. Speak with criminal slang.
That's just the way that I talk, yo.
Vocabulary spills, I'm ill.
Yeah. One love to my big brother, Big Lee. Holding it down. Yeah, flamboyant for life. Yeah, flamboyant for life.
Matter to me, man.
What's the matter with you?
What's the matter with you? What are you doing?
It's a bigger meatball.
Yo, Bacon, come in. Jackie's really pissed off at the other server. Come
Where?
on in.
Which one? And
Chill.
Other server now. You and me. Gonna fight. Oh, fuck me. 9 to win. Not getting. I have to fold. Shit, nigga. Oh, I wanna kill myself.
It's COVID-19 if anyone cares to join them.
No, thank you.
P-Mars, I presume you're banned from that one as well.
I might not be, actually. Do you have the link?
Dude, I stopped using VPN because I felt like a douche. Like, why am I gonna be on VPN if people don't want me here? I'm like, fuck that. I just started trolling on my main account.
What's up, everybody?
What's up?
It's Rob.
Individual.
Rob. Just chilling, man. Just got home from the doctor's. Place I didn't really want to go to, but I had to go to get a prescription for my fucking Vicodin.
Yeah, I'm banned, Scott.
So they don't do that shit over the phone, dude? They don't do that shit over the phone?
And now with the opioids. The opioids, they want you fucking going in there.
No, that's bullshit, because I get narcotics too. And they...
How long ago was that? Oh, they might have changed it because of the COVID thing. My guy's right actually down the street from me, so it was easy. Because two buildings down from that is my pharmacy.
Doctors
No,
are just
it
like...
goes by each doctor's office. Sometimes they can e-scribe this depending on what schedule it is. Sometimes they can't.
Usually, before it was the narcotics, they wouldn't. You had to actually go to the office and pick up a narcotic script and take it then to the pharmacy. And they used to be able to call that in, and then once the opioid crisis happened, they stopped.
They still can, depending on what schedule.
Well,
I get my pain meds called in every...
Really? Maybe it's the insurance companies. I have no idea.
No,
Could
it's
be your
what
state.
schedule.
Yeah, I think it's your state, man.
Yeah, Illinois,
They do the...
tough one. So it could be, But at least I got it. I was like, because the insurance was like, we need to have a reason why you're on this. I said, I've been on it for 5 years since my back was all fused together, and now my neck needs to be fused. It's all there, but they just, they can't read.
Are you on Oxy or Percocet or stuff?
No, I'm just on the Vicodin or Norco is what they call it.
Do you know how to do the fusion
Yeah,
dance?
okay. Then it has to do with your doctor. Either they can't e-scribe it, or it has to
E-scribe.
I think it might be the state, because I was in 2 weeks ago, and it was for the same thing. And he had to send me to the neurosurgeon, but he said, hey, I
Boys, ready?
Fusion! Ha!
Yes, you're doing it! Stay with it! Whoa, it worked!
Wow, feel that? What power! He's the one, all right. There's no doubt about it.
Wow, he's a cutie.
I think he favors Trunks a little bit. What do you think, Chi-Chi?
The nose, yes. The eyes, no. He's got fabulous energy. Doesn't matter who he looks like. But he does have Goten's hair.
Excellent. 30 minutes from now, we'll try the fusion again. Only this time, you'll be Super Saiyans.
We're not doing this as Super Saiyans.
What?
There's no need for it. We're strong enough as it is.
You little... How dare you! This is a team effort, got it? That's a call that we all have to agree on, and I don't agree. It makes no sense to confront Boo unless you're at your absolute maximum. Understand me? Huh?
Yes. But you don't. Look, you're scared. But Boo is nothing. I will bring him back. Dead. See ya.
Wait, no, come back!
Don't have a heart attack.
He's not listening.
Oh, good. He's close. 30 minutes should be plenty of time. All right. This is gonna be fun. Now that's fast. Whoa.
Darn it! If he gets killed now, all of our efforts were for nothing!
Yeah, you're right. He's reckless for sure. But I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if he beat Majin Buu.
Me either! I bet you that little guy tears Boo up! If we're lucky. But what if he doesn't?
Information out to them. We have satellite maps where we can see where people are and where they're moving. So we can have tools, but those tools need to be put into an overall global health system, and we need preparedness. The best lessons, I think, on how to get prepared are, again, what we do for war. For soldiers, we have full time, waiting to go, We have reserves that can scale us up to large numbers. We don't need to invest nearly what we do in military preparedness. This is something where less than $1 billion a year on R&D, medical surveillance, standby personnel, cross-training the military so they can play a role in terms of all the logistics. And then we need to pair those medical people with the military, taking advantage of the military's ability to move fast, do logistics, and secure areas.
You launched CEPI because you believe the world is unprepared for the next pandemic. What is CEPI?
CEPI is a coalition for epidemic preparedness. And the idea is to take a new way of building vaccines that could let us develop in less than a year a novel vaccine. They're called DNA RNA vaccines, and so we'll fund a few projects to build specific vaccines, but not only will we get that, we'll prove out that these platforms can work, we'll understand the regulatory issues, and it gives us a chance of being able to respond in time when the next epidemic hits. We need vaccines for a lot of things, not just epidemics. We need a HIV vaccine, a tuberculosis vaccine, a malaria vaccine. All of those things are in the works, and over the next decade, I think most of those we'll get solutions for. So those are the...
It's a weird misprint.
Hey! Azang, essay.
Yeah, right. Well, not so good. I don't really know what's going on, but I'm seeing things. I think it might be because of these drugs the Army put me on. But if you could just get me well enough to get back to base.
Right. Kick ass. Well, don't want to sound like a dick or nothing, but it says on your chart that you're fucked up. You talk like a fag, and your shit's all retarded. What I do is just like you know, you know what I mean? Like,
No, I'm serious here.
don't worry, Scro. Now there are plenty of tards out there living really kick-ass lives. My first wife was tarded. She's a pilot now.
I need for you to be serious for a second here, okay? I need help.
There's that fag talk we talked about. Alright, so that'll be this many dollars. And if you could just go ahead and, like, put your tattoo in that shit.
That's weird. This thing has the same misprint as that magazine. What are the odds?
Where's your tattoo? Tattoo? Why don't you have this?
Oh, God.
Where's your tattoo? Oh my God. Why come you don't have a tattoo?
God.
You're not unscannable, are you?
Oh my God!
You're unscannable.
Unscannable! No, you don't understand! You gotta let me talk to someone in the Army! A second. They're all dead. Everybody I know is dead! Oh my God! Oh! No! Come down! How this happened?
Is that where we're headed now? Shit, fucking...
The kinds of things we need to deal with an epidemic. But in fact, we can build a really good response system. We have the benefits of all the science and technology that we talk about here. We've got cell phones to get information from the public and get information out to them. We have satellite maps where we can see where people are and where they're moving.
Israel has given its security agencies the power to track the mobile data of people suspected of having the virus. The government will use the information to force them into quarantine and warn those who come into contact with them. South Korea has taken similar steps by using mobile phone and satellite technology to track potential carriers.
The use of tech surveillance has been increasing due to the COVID-19 pandemic across the globe. Several governments have taken to tracking location data via mobile carriers to check if patients who should be be isolated are staying isolated, as well as tracking how well their stay-at-home or quarantine orders are holding up. Carriers in Italy, Germany, and Austria within the European Union are continuously sharing data with health authorities. According to law enforcement in Italy, movement is down by 60% in one coronavirus hotbed. Now, Israel has also authorized location tracking for patients who have tested positive and should be under quarantine during the hopefully limited time of this pandemic. But these are not the only countries using cell phone location data, with Iran using an app called AC-19 to China's tracking and Taiwan's electronic fencing of their quarantined people.
The U.S. is tracking people's movements with phone data, and it's part of a massive increase in global surveillance. And it goes on to talk about governments across the world galvanizing every surveillance tool at their disposal to help stem the spread of the novel coronavirus.
Poland is taking a different approach. In order to ensure people are quarantining themselves correctly, they use something called the Home Quarantine app to make people register a selfie, then periodically send new selfies through the app or face a police report. And each of those selfies has location information in place. If they do not download and use the app, they may receive unexpected visits from police.
Last week, a top WHO, World Health Organization official stated that it's time for authorities to come to your home to see who's infected and take them away.
They're using apps now to do that. They're testing apps, but they didn't do it with apps in Singapore. They did that with community workers, with public health workers, visiting the houses, checking on people, checking their health status every day and saying, how are you? Have you got a fever? Have you got a cough? And if a contact has developed a cough or a fever, they were taken immediately for testing. And at the moment, in most parts of the world, due to lockdown, most of the transmission that's actually happening in many countries now is happening in the household, at family level. In some senses, transmission has been taken off the streets and pushed back into family units. Now we need to go and look in families to find those people who may be sick and remove them and isolate them in a safe and dignified manner.
But what about the new surveillance techniques introduced to curb the spread? In Hangzhou, to enter a tower block, you need to have your temperature taken and registered. And you must have an app on your phone into which you input your name, temperature, recent travel and ID number. The information generates a color code. But few know exactly how their data is being used.
We actually looked at the back-end code that the app was running, and what you could see is the moment that a user gives it permission to access data, it immediately sends a function that says report info and location to police. And then we looked into it, and the police were a key developer of the product as well. And so from that you can tell that the data is basically being sent back to the police the moment somebody actually uses the app.
In some 200 Chinese cities, you now need a green code to get on public transport. Without it, you can do almost nothing. No crisis should go to waste. The coronavirus has given the Chinese Communist Party an opportunity to increase state surveillance, knowing that most people will be more worried about the epidemic than their privacy.
Yes, this is happening in the very model for the New World Order system as described by Rockefeller and others, George Soros and others who have described China as the heart or the engine of the New World Order on numerous occasions. It is held up as the model because this is exactly what the globalists want to enact in every country around the globe, a complete authoritarian regime that has total control, total surveillance over every aspect of its citizens' lives. That is the end goal.
The best lessons, I think, on how to get prepared are, again, what we do for war.
We must declare war on this virus. And that means countries have a responsibility to gear up, step up, and scale up.
We're at war. In a true sense, we're at war. And we're fighting an invisible enemy.
This is like a war. And in a war, you do whatever is needed to be done to take care of your people.
This is, in effect, a government on a wartime footing. A government calling for a collective national effort, as Boris Johnson would do, quotes, whatever it takes.
We must act like any
wartime government.
Well, I think that the threat is very significant. The potential of the virus, it's already demonstrated in China. I mean, I don't think it's a crazy analogy to compare this to World War II.
Cross-training the military so they can play a role in terms of all the logistics, taking advantage of the military's ability to move fast, do logistics, and secure areas.
As the U.S. confirms it's deploying new military resources to treat patients with COVID-19.
We went inside that new hospital at the Javits Convention Center with Army Chief of Staff General James C. McConville.
So the elite have been talking about austerity and going back to like when World War II was going on, people were rationing and yeah, basically they want us to have less stuff, less food, less everything. They use this as an excuse to achieve that. Yeah, this article is sort of about that. They use war to change society quickly, and they're gonna push through a bunch of changes. Obviously, with what's going on.
Messieurs, en direct de Charenton tout de suite. Si on me dit pas qu'on se prépare à être un confiné, l'Arzise.
The idea is to take a new way of building vaccines that could let us develop in less than a year a novel vaccine. They're called DNA-RNA vaccines.
When will a corona vaccine be ready? A vaccine that enables us to resume our lives without restrictions while protecting us from the disease. I'm afraid we need to be patient and keep our distance for a while longer and let scientists do their job.
In the race for a coronavirus vaccine, some scientists are focusing on the development of vaccines based on messenger RNA, or mRNA. This involves injecting a person with the instructions for part of the virus. This would then spur the body to partially produce the virus. This in turn encourages the immune system to develop antibodies. Then, if the real coronavirus strikes, the person would be well equipped and able to defend himself or herself. Whether that will really work is what's being tested with the tools being developed here.
Scientists at the National Institutes of Health are working to create a vaccine for the new coronavirus that originated in China. But they're not starting from scratch. They're employing an approach called Vaccine Rapid Response Platforms.
It involves high-tech methods that have the potential to shave years off of development time. Ideally, they'd offer protection while an epidemic was still spreading, instead of years later.
Within weeks of the world learning about the Wuhan outbreak, Chinese scientists uploaded the novel coronavirus's genetic sequence to a public database that allowed teams around the world to start designing a vaccine. Traditional methods require an actual sample of the virus. Typically, scientists inactivate a virus using special chemicals before it's put into a vaccine. When the inactivated or weakened virus is injected into the body, the immune system recognizes it as a foreign invader or an antigen. Vaccines use antigens to prime the body to protect against a particular virus. But vaccines developed with rapid response platforms work differently. Rather than directly injecting antigens into the body, these types of vaccines typically send instructions to cells in the body. It gets the cells to produce antigen proteins that are specific to the virus it's designed to defeat. These instructions are in the form of RNA or DNA, the molecules that contain the code for building proteins. Scientists say this process cuts down on development time because they don't have to grow the whole virus. Plus, when scientists identify and create the instructions for one virus, they can tweak those instructions to make a vaccine for a similar virus.
Here's Tony Fauci talking about how excited he is at the speed with which we can create a vaccine that, remember, in animal studies, the warning was, be very careful about taking this to human trials. Listen to this.
One of these vaccines, I think, serves as the prototype of the timing of what we were talking about. You might recall I had mentioned that from the time we had available sequence, we would hope to be in clinical trials within 2 to 3 months. And I said, barring any glitches, that would be the fastest ever in any vaccine that we've gone from the identification of a pathogen to putting it into a human in a phase 1 trial. Well, I'm happy to report to you this afternoon that we are on time at least, and maybe even a little better. The gene has been expressed in the platform, in this case a messenger RNA.
So you see, as we've gone to the ghost of vaccines past, no placebo groups, easily having vaccine programs that kill children, approving vaccines that cause heart attacks, and just seeing, does our post-marketing surveillance capture it, even though none of the frontline doctors have been told it causes heart attacks? Do you see the danger that sits in our future? And now, these people that have rushed every vaccine we use up until this point are now hyper-speeding towards a coronavirus vaccine in a speed that Tony Fauci describes the fastest we have ever seen.
The experimental RNA vaccine manufactured by Moderna is funded by both Bill Gates and the NIHID, which Fauci leads. Now, this vaccine has been fast-tracked, removing regulatory restrictions, and this type of RNA vaccine has never been before used on humans. Now, typically vaccines take years to develop, not weeks. And they are already testing this brand new RNA vaccine on humans. Fauci's NIH are the ones conducting the vaccine test right now. And by the way, they skipped the usual animal testing phase and started testing on human guinea pigs. Now, Gates and Fauci also have another financial relationship. In October of 2019, Fauci announced a partnership between the Gates Foundation and Fauci's agency, in which they both pledged to spend $100 million each to research gene-based therapies into HIV and sickle cell disease.
We need vaccines for a lot of things, not just epidemics. We need a HIV vaccine, a tuberculosis vaccine, a malaria vaccine. All of those things are in the works, and over the next decade, I think most of those we'll get solutions for.
Now, Bill Gates has been doing the rounds recently on a media campaign, beginning with a Reddit Ask Me Anything, where Gates called for a national tracking system for the coronavirus. Many were shocked, and some asked, did Gates slip up and let the cat out of the bag? And in my personal belief, the answer is no, because only a few days later, Gates upped the ante and openly called and talked about a vaccine certificate, which would be recognized internationally. So in other words, a global vaccine ID. These statements are not a slip of the tongue, in my opinion. This is a public rollout of a plan that's been in the works for a long time.
Eventually, what we'll have to have is certificates of who's a recovered person, who's a vaccinated person, because you don't want people moving around the world where you'll have some countries that won't have it under control. Sadly, you don't want to completely block off the ability for those, people to go there and come back and move around.
Now, if you'd seen my previous reports here, you would not be surprised by this. I published a report before the announcements were made by Bill Gates, and I predicted that this would be the outcome, and is very likely tied into Gates' coronavirus at-home testing kits because they are collecting your DNA during these tests. Now, I show in detail how Gates currently is working with the United Nations to establish the UN's Sustainable Development Goal 16.9 under the UN's 2030 agenda to provide a digital ID for every man, woman, and child on the planet by the year 2030 through their UN and Gates joint program known as ID 2020. Gates openly talks about vaccinating everyone on the planet before life can return to, quote, normal.
The ultimate solution, the only thing that really lets us go back completely to normal and feel good about sitting in a stadium with lots of other people, is to create a vaccine and not just take care of our country, but take that vaccine out to the global population. But what does opening up look like? You know, which activities have, like schools, have such benefit and can be done in a way that the risk of transmission is very low?
Yeah.
And which activities, like mass gatherings, may be, in a certain sense, more optional. And so until you're widely vaccinated, those may not come back at all.
And it's not just Gates saying this. His little buddy Fauci has also implied this. The Australian Prime Minister has stated that life will not return to normal until there is a vaccine. Johnson & Johnson, who participated in the UN Gates Event 201 pandemic simulation, is preparing mass vaccines. Denmark has mandated vaccines through an emergency order. And in Italy, you may have to have a COVID pass to prove you have a marker of immunity, just to return to work after this lockdown.
Immunity passports could speed up return to work after COVID-19. And this case, this report coming from The Guardian about a week ago, this case, they're not talking about immunity passports to travel internationally. No, this is to go to work, to access public transit, to do anything in the public sphere is going to require an immunity passport to show that you've got the antibodies or you've got the vaccine. If you've taken the vaccine, you'll get your immunity passport and you'll be allowed to travel, to work, to make money in order to put food on your family's table. So it's completely opt-in, guys. You can choose if you want to do this. It's just if you want access to anything in the public sphere, you're going to have to take the shot.
The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Welcome to Event 201.
I find this extremely fascinating because this pandemic simulation exercise of the coronavirus took place about 6 weeks before the first illness from the coronavirus was actually reported in Wuhan, China. Now, that is one hell of a coincidence if you ask me. I'm not sure if you believe in that sort of thing. Now, the members of the Emergency Epidemic Board in this simulation consist of representatives from major banks, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Johnson & Johnson, logistical powerhouses, the media, as well as officials from China and Americans' Center for Disease Control, just to name a few. Now, let's take a quick look at how this simulation began.
Hello, everyone. I'm Anita Cicero, Deputy Director of the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, and today I will be your Master of Ceremonies for Event 201. On behalf of our center and our partners, the World Economic Forum and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, today's scenario is going to simulate meetings of a multi-stakeholder group called the Pandemic Emergency Board. This board has been urgently convened by the World Economic Forum, and Johns Hopkins has been asked to moderate the board meetings and provide expertise during the board's deliberations. The mission of the Pandemic Emergency Board is to provide recommendations to deal with the major global challenges arising in response to an unfolding pandemic. The board's recommendations are aimed at top decision makers in national governments, global business, and international organizations.
The scenario you will be presented with this morning could easily become a shared reality one day. I fully expect that we will be confronted by a fast-moving, highly lethal pandemic of a respiratory pathogen.
a step up from the part of the government on enforcement actions against fake news.
We're at a moment where the social media platforms have to step forward and recognize the moment to assert that they're a technology platform and not a broadcaster is over. They in fact have to be a participant in broadcasting accurate information and partnering with the scientific and health communities.
The WHO right now is meeting with Google and all of the internet companies to say that...
Whoa. Like, why do people like on YouTube and Facebook have to be accurate with the information they broadcast? But these fucking bastards in the media, they've been putting out so much misinformation about this virus. Like, masks are good, masks are bad, the sunlight kills the virus, the sunlight doesn't kill the virus. What else did they say? Oh, stand 6 feet away, yet then they said sneezes can travel 27 feet. So the media is putting out like a bunch of false information, and then they want to go after like Joe Schmo six-pack who's got like a YouTube and get something wrong. Now he's gonna get thrown in jail because he reported fake news. That's ridiculous.
Only information coming from WHO and CDC about coronavirus should be shared and allowed on the internet.
Twitter have decided to take it upon themselves to delete a few tweets by Jair Bolsonaro because they believe that it is misinformation. As Glenn Greenwald says here, he was showing videos of himself going into crowds in Brazil, hyping hydrochloride as a cure and encouraging an end to isolation, and Twitter decided they were going to delete these tweets. Alex Jones got his app banned from the Google Store for talking about this, for exposing the Dems blocking coronavirus treatments. Well, I mean, they did, didn't they? But I mean, they're just going to consider anything Alex Jones says to be misinformation and therefore gone. But the same thing is going to happen in the UK. There is a fake news crackdown by the UK government because this tyranny has not escaped our shores, of course.
The call to action that was issued as a result of this tabletop exercise that was held in New York in October of 2019, involving some of the very players who are now in the front lines of this fight against the coronavirus pandemic that they themselves were simulating. Amazing that they were able to foresee what was coming. And look, they had this perfectly amazing list of responses already waiting for something like this to come along so that they could shake their paper in the face of these world leaders and say, look, we told you so. Now we have the plan for exactly what you should do about this, including, as point number 7 in that call to action makes very explicit, the crackdown on what is deemed to be mis- and disinformation by the authoritative sources in the fact-checking world, no doubt, about the pandemic outbreak. And what are we seeing right now? As I just went over with James Evan Pilato in New World Next Week, all of the big tech companies are now actively coordinating and collaborating with the U.S. government in order to crack down on coronavirus misinformation, which, oh, by the way, as a bug, Facebook just accidentally basically censored and blocked and removed every single article and post on coronavirus recently.
The line between disinformation and misinformation is not always an easy one to find.
But that was just a bug, folks. Don't worry, they're ironing out the wrinkles in that system, and it will all be better soon once they have the right censorship things dialed in properly. And of course, the WHO director did come out and say that what we're dealing with is not just a pandemic, it's an infodemic. So this has already been seeded into the popular imagination, and it was already sitting there waiting to be enacted by the Event 201 crew, who are the very ones coordinating the response to the real-life version of what they simulated.
Like, and now here we are. You know, we didn't simulate this, we didn't practice. So both the health policies and economic policies, we find ourselves in uncharted territory.
Let's just rewind that real quick and hear that again.
You know, we didn't simulate this, we didn't practice, so both we didn't practice, so both the
We didn't simulate this, we didn't practice this. Now everybody who's listening to this channel, even if you're new, I'm sure you've heard of Event 201, and you know that that is an outright lie. For those who are unaware, here we are at the centerforhealthsecurity.org/event201, and let's just read a little bit about this. The Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, in partnership with the World Economic Forum and, oh, look at this, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, hosted Event 201, a high-level pandemic exercise on October 18, 2019. So Gates is on BBC this morning claiming, we didn't prepare, we're underfunded, you know, I thought this was going to happen, but nobody listened to me, and we didn't simulate this, we didn't practice this. So, as he says, the health policies and economic policies, we find ourselves in uncharted territory. Guys, this is just like the 9/11 story, where the goal is to convince the...
Yeah, why do they act like we're not prepared? Like with 9/11, they said no one could have predicted this happening, but they had drills and stuff of something like that happening. They had terrorists bomb the World Trade Center in '93 or whatever. So they always, every time there's some event, they're like, wow, I can't believe no one saw this coming. No one would have thought this would happen. But then we find out they're doing drills, anticipating something like this. Like, what the fuck? Why do they always do that? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Public, that the government was just kind of bumbling around and didn't know what was going to happen, and so nobody could have been prepared for this. Just like Condoleezza Rice after 9/11 said, oh, I don't think anybody could have imagined this happening, meaning could imagine that planes could crash into buildings, even though they also, just like Event 201, simulated hijacked aircraft flying into planes, flying into buildings.
The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and their angle on this, the philanthropic organizations that were going to help to coordinate the international global response that will be necessary. This is, of course, what it always comes back to, because some people are saying this is the end of globalization as we've known it. This is going to upend everything. On the contrary, this is a fail-forward event in which the very globalist purveyors of the globalist ideology are going to push even further and even harder. We're going to need a global pandemic response agency that's going to be funded by all countries, and it's going to be able to subsume the national sovereignty of any given country as a result of what's happening right now. And that was, again, laid out by Bill Gates 5 years ago.
So we can have tools, but those tools need to be put into an overall global health system.
A global stockpile would certainly help ensure more rational and strategic allocation.
What we've seen work very well in the HIV field is in fact procurement through the Global Fund. So having a centralized mechanism, so financially able to procure on behalf of affected countries can be critical.
So at the moment we want the fund, right? You need the money. So where's the money? So government can supply some money. A lot of, private sectors, some are sitting here, you have some money, but now you need a really coordinated, centralized efforts.
The former Prime Minister of the UK, Gordon Brown, recently urged world leaders to create a, quote, temporary form of global governance to tackle the twin medical and economic crises, calling for a global governance task force, which would include the G20, the United Nations, the World Bank, and the International Monetary Fund.
Temporary form of global government that's going to just temporarily put all sorts of extraordinary powers in the hands of these international bodies that will have to be strengthened as a result of this, and just temporary, until we can eradicate all disease and all threat of all pandemic from ever affecting humankind again. Just until that takes place, right? This is the crisis that they need to justify the response, the solution that they already have up their sleeve. Hey, what's the problem? Oh, global government, that's the solution.
My central message is clear. We are in an unprecedented situation, and the normal rules no longer apply. People are suffering, sick, and scared. And current responses at the country level will not address the global scale and complexity of the crisis. But in managing this crisis, we also have a unique opportunity. Done right, we can steer the recovery towards a more sustainable and inclusive path. As we need to immediately move away from a situation where each country is undertaking its own health strategies to one that ensures in full transparency a coordinated global response, including helping countries that are less prepared to tackle the crisis. Governments must give the strongest support to the multilateral effort to fight the virus, led by the World Health Organization, whose appeals must be fully met.
It should be noted Gates is the World Health Organization's second largest donor, second only to the U.S., but just above the entire United Kingdom.
I welcome the decision by G20 leaders to convene an emergency summit next week to respond to the epic challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, and I look forward to taking part.
G20 summits are normally lavish set-piece events. This was last year in Osaka, Japan. But in the new realities of a closed-off world, the summit became a 90-minute video conference call.
新冠肺炎疫情正在全球蔓延，国际社会最需要的是坚定信心、齐心协力、团结应对，全面加强国际合作，凝聚起战胜疫情强大合力，携手赢得这场人类同重大传染性疾病的斗争。国际社会应该加紧行动起来，坚决打好新冠肺炎疫情防控全球阻击战，遏制疫情蔓延势头。中方秉持人类命运共同体理念，愿同各国分享防控有益做法，开展药物和疫苗联合研发。病毒无国界，疫情是我们的共同敌人。各国必须携手拉起最严密的联防联控网络。
The United States is working with our friends and partners around the world to stop the spread of the virus and coordinate our efforts. We discussed how vitally important it is for all of our nations to immediately share information and data.
Governments need to be willing to do things that are out of their historical perspective, or for the most part, it's really a war footing that we need to be on.
This is, in effect, a government on a wartime footing.
We must act like any wartime government.
We must declare war on this virus.
We're at war. In a true sense, we're at war.
Compare this to World War II.
It can happen quickly. A Marshall-type plan, a company may say that exactly, but a Marshall plan that can go into effect can stimulate change very quickly.
I can tell you that martial law and the specter of martial law is very much in the air in the United States and elsewhere, reflected in any number of stories that are trending on the news pages right now, the mainstream news pages, about what is martial law and is martial law coming to America. For example, we can get this from Fox Business. What is martial law? Increase in COVID-19 related rules, curfews has led to circulation of rumors surrounding martial law, and it helpfully defines martial law as a term that describes the government order of replacing civil rule with the military in a time of war or emergency. Well, actually, for people who have been paying attention over the past 18 years, the national emergency that was declared on 9/11 has been renewed every single year by every single president since then. So there is a state of emergency.
Now, the epicenter of this outbreak, the city of Wuhan, has just handed over the first of 2 temporary hospitals to the Chinese military medical teams.
In response to the worsening situation and ahead of an anticipated nationwide curfew, the IDF entered its highest state of alert, which practically means the Israeli military's emergency preparedness for war.
The president of the region of Lombardy has said that he wants the military to be called in to enforce the lockdown, calling on people to stay at home. This is really the mantra that they're leading out to the public at large.
This morning, emergency measures in New York. The state's governor deploying the National Guard to New Rochelle, a suburb of New York City, in an effort to contain a coronavirus outbreak there.
The new era that we have stumbled into one way or another, and that era is now coming to fruition. And there are many different aspects of what's going on right now, and the very many different power grabs that are being taken by authoritarian structures all around the world. Just as after 9/11, every authoritarian in the world was happy to see that event occur in the sense that it gave them carte blanche to call all of their enemies terrorists and launch a war upon them. Well, now the authoritarian structures around the world are benefiting from the massive power grab that is taking place right under our nose.
My God, we've now passed this emergency coronavirus legislation. This is now law, or will be by the time you watch this video, probably. And man, this is just... I'm just blown away that this is something that we can do. So, Matt Hancock, the Health Secretary, said that this will allow extraordinary measures never seen in peacetime in the UK. Jesus. It's cleared the House of Lords, it's going to happen. So it gives them, as they say, wide-ranging powers. Now, I'm not too worried about the workforce and the easing of pressure. It's the limiting of contact, the control of people's movements that I'm more concerned about. This really seems too far for me. I mean, they've got parts about controlling borders, sick pays, but the part that I think is most, honestly, just the bit that really struck at home to me was that the MPs are just like this. I mean, we're all going to vote for this. We're going to allow this to go through, but this is really intense. I just can't get over it.
The UK is experiencing similar power grabs. So this new bill, which is HC 122, or simply the coronavirus bill, allows police and officials to order anyone believed to be infected to undergo testing. Anyone believed to be infected to undergo testing. Pretty crazy stuff. Police, public health, and immigration officers will be able to detain people suspected of having COVID-19 and exact £1,000 fines for refusing tests under emergency powers that have been rolled out now by the UK government.
Australia has declared a state of emergency and has invoked these new powers in much the same way as Britain has. The formal declaration gives the government the power to close off cities or regions, impose curfews, and order people to quarantine if deemed necessary to contain the spread of the virus. This is terrifying. This is absolutely terrifying because, like, I don't think I actually know anyone with this virus. Like in Virginia, 25 people have died. Boom, entire state shut down. You know, Australia, boom, entire country now can be quarantined at the whim of the government, just if they decide. Like, Australia has recorded 425 infections and 5 deaths. Boom, entire country locked down. It's madness. Same in France, obviously, apart from those problematic gang-ridden areas, the areas where the diversity is, the police aren't going to enforce this on them. So, I mean, in one way you could say this is a privilege, but I mean, it might well be a giant curse. Who knows how bad the coronavirus becomes? But a regular French citizen can be fined €4,000 for repeatedly flouting this quarantine. Obviously, this is the same thing in Israel. Netanyahu, who was due to appear in court apparently, has decided to suspend courts, shut down the courts, and identify people who should be quarantined using data harvested from their phones. Wow. That's, like, come on. Like, you know, in Bolivia, they're delaying presidential elections and mandating a 14-day quarantine. And then you get Hungary. And Hungary decided to just go full-on dictatorship. Here's a quick summary of what's in it. State of emergency without time limit. The Liberal, according to the Guardian article I've got here as well, the Liberal Party was saying, well, look, we'll agree to this if you put the sunset clause in. No, the hell with your sunset clause. This isn't just going to expire after a year or 2 years or however long. This is a state of emergency without time limit and rule by decree. Parliament suspended, no elections. If you spread fake news and rumours, you get up to 5 years in prison. If you leave quarantine, up to 8 years in prison. This is mad. Like, this is full-on dictatorship.
Police are ramping up their crackdown on Sydney's parks and beaches, and you'll no longer escape with just a warning. Officers have handed the first fines to those not obeying the rules, and as you're about to see, everyone is a target.
Two young mums, one breastfeeding her baby, both of them just minding their business. They're locked in conversation with a police officer and they find it hard to believe he is telling them to move on. But nobody was off limits, with police on a mission at Coogee Beach.
Get home, please. Just quick exercise around the block and get home.
Reading the paper under a tree, tradies having their lunch. A mum sitting on a bench by herself, told she has to leave too. Is this a police state, or is it what the public needs to hear?
Your club's found the green. Can you all go home? Can you all go home, please? It's not a holiday. It's a lockdown, which means you don't just come in and sunbathe.
Gulo o barilan o patayan, I will not hesitate my soldiers to shoot you. Shoot them dead.
网贷了？你想过吗？你不过这都不讲过了哈！站好一个人。知道，我知道这个。哎，那。दूरी बना के दूरी बना दो
Like something out of science fiction, this drone equipped with a megaphone hovers before a crowd, blaring a warning. The operator, a local traffic cop.
You, the handsome man with the telephone, where's your mask? Put it on.
Hey, you on the bike, put on your mask when you're in the street. Don't endanger your fellow citizens.
2010, the deep state had the Rockefeller Foundation script a plan to introduce martial law and a permanent method for total control of the citizenry. In this plan that they disguised as an academic scenario, as they called it, the method they would use to gain complete prison-like control of the entire population.
Lockstep. And lockstep comes from a series of scenarios that were laid out by the Rockefeller Foundation in conjunction with the Global Business Network, and that were described in a document called Scenarios for the Future of Technology and International Development. And one of these scenarios that they were planning, again, on the records in 2010, was called Lockstep. And let me know if this sounds familiar to you. The document starts by noting that Lockstep is a scenario which involves a world of tighter top-down government control and more authoritarian leadership with limited innovation and growing citizen pushback. The pandemic also had a deadly effect on economies. International mobility of both people and goods screeched to a halt, debilitating industries like tourism and breaking global supply chains. Sounds familiar. Even locally, normally bustling shops and office buildings sat empty for months, devoid of both employees and customers. But even in developed countries, containment was a challenge. The United States' initial policy of strongly discouraging citizens from flying proved deadly in its leniency, accelerating the spread of the virus not just within the U.S., but across borders.
To keep new cases from entering our shores, we will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days.
We'll have the greatest number of confirmed coronavirus cases on Earth.
However, a few countries did fare better, China in particular. The Chinese government's quick imposition and enforcement of mandatory quarantine for all citizens, as well as its instant and near hermetic sealing off of all borders, saved millions of lives, stopping the spread of the virus far earlier than in other countries, and enabling a swift post-pandemic recovery.
We have been seeing the U.S. government, the World Health Organization, and the media praising the authoritarian measures taken by China in response to this outbreak.
I will praise China again and again because its actions actually helped in reducing the spread of coronavirus to other countries.
A phenomenal collective action and cooperation by the people of China to this response.
Now, China's decision to lock down the city of Wuhan, the epicenter of the COVID-19 outbreak, may have prevented more than 700,000 new cases.
Is total lockdown the cure for the coronavirus? The city at the center of China's crisis reports no new cases for the second day in a row. Should other cities follow Wuhan's lead and imprison millions of its people for weeks? And is China's experiment the model for us all?
China's government was not the only one that took extreme measures to protect its citizens from risk and exposure. During the pandemic, national leaders around the world flexed their authority and imposed airtight rules and restrictions, from the mandatory wearing of face masks to body temperature checks at the entries to communal spaces like train stations and supermarkets.
It just feels weird because he's putting something between your eyes. One more time. You don't have a fever.
No, wait.
Reach low again.
There you go. One more time.
Even after the pandemic faded, this more authoritarian control and oversight of citizens and their activities stuck, and even intensified. In order to protect themselves from the spread of increasingly global problems, from pandemics and transnational terrorism to environmental crises and rising poverty, leaders around the world took a firmer grip on power.
And so it's just, I mean, I'm just, like, this is really bad precedent. It's a really bad precedent to be able to give government the powers to be able to do this because of a virus. We are moving into a dystopian framework where something terrible could emerge. And it's just better to not have the groundwork laid. It is just better for us to not have the ability for something terrible to come up and have the constitutional protections, the liberties that we have fought for 1,000 years to get. We can't just give them up in the face of a virus.
It is nonetheless a fact that in any time of great crisis or adversity, a trick that your own brain will pull on you in order to give you a false sense of security is to normalize the situation. There's no crisis, there's no emergency, everything will go back to normal in a few weeks and we'll continue on with our lives as they were before. Do not normalize what is happening here. This is not normal. Medical martial law, troops on the street, internal passports and checkpoints, orders to shelter in place, permission to leave your home, enforced quarantines and isolation, business closures, nationalization of industry, collapses of economies. This is not normal. So do not normalize. Do not give in to the temptation to normalize the absolute craziness that is happening right now. Realize that this is the perfectly logical end result of decades of carefully laid infrastructure for the implementation of a medical martial law situation. And what is happening right now are powers being accrued by authoritarians that will never be relinquished. Once these powers are put in place and the precedent is there, even if the emergency is released and everything goes back to normal a few weeks from now, it will be a new normal.
It sounds like little by little Beijing and maybe the entire country starting to return to normal. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say. I would call it not normal, but maybe the new normal.
As we wake up to a new normal today and life is slowly grinding to a halt,
Americans are facing a new normal. This will be the new normal.
A new normal, in which any authoritarian at any time will be able to press the panic button to cause pandemonium in the public and to reclaim all of these emergency, temporary measures that are being claimed right now. This is a big deal. Centralization of power and control in the hands of a very few oligarchical elitists who are using a technocratic enslavement grid to impose a global, worldwide tyranny, aka a new world order. When we start to understand what this agenda is really about, which is total and complete control over every aspect of every human being on the planet, their movement, their actions, their activities, their transactions, their interactions with people, down to the individual level, the complete and utter control of your life in every regard, well, guess what? That is being enabled on the back of this pandemic scare.
You know, I think it's too bad in a way that we have had to have these epidemics to get us to move.
Epidemics to get us to move.
It's just one more way of reducing your liberty and reminding you that they can fuck with you anytime they want, as long as you put up with it. As long as you put up with it. Which means, of course, anytime they want. Because that's what Americans do now. They're always willing to trade away a little of their freedom in exchange for the feeling, the illusion of security. What we have now is a completely neurotic population obsessed with security and safety and crime and drugs and cleanliness and hygiene and germs. There's another thing, germs. Where did this sudden fear of germs come from? In this country. Have you noticed this? The media constantly running stories about all the latest infections, salmonella, E. coli, hantavirus, bird flu, and Americans they panic easily, so now everybody's running around scrubbing this and spraying that and overcooking their food and repeatedly washing their hands, trying to avoid all contact with germs. It's ridiculous, and it goes to ridiculous lengths. In prisons, before they give you a lethal injection, they swab your arm with alcohol.
Just when these American citizens needed their rights the most, their government took them away. And rights aren't rights if someone can take them away. They're privileges. That's all we've ever had in this country is a bill of temporary privileges. And if you read the news even badly, you know that every year the list gets shorter and shorter and shorter.
Why don't you come at me directly, faggot?
I'm pretty sure I just did.
No, you fucking didn't. No. No. Instead of saying, look, Spiritus, I think you're a piece of shit. I think you're a motherfucker, blah, blah, blah. You're like, Spiritus, but did you know that you do not eat pad thai with ketchup? You are poor. Yeah? Man, shut the fuck up, you bitch.
Are you done?
You tell him, Draco.
You had your little tantrum?
My little tantrum. You had yours, bro. You had yours, bitch. Is that what you do in real life as well? You go on the streets, you say, hey, bro, did you know that you ketchup ramen noodles?
They say something
yeah, that's what you do in real life.
Tear it apart.
Oh, you fucking dumb, because you'd get your fucking face smashed, faggot. That's why. You don't.
I don't see you delivering anything.
Delivering what, bro?
Meet
it's
me
enough
at
for
the
this
nearest
planet that your
train
mother delivered
station.
you.
Meet me at the fucking train station.
What train station?
Meet me at the fucking
Bro, I'll put your fucking
Donkey,
head
this
on the
morning-
fucking train.
Donkey, this
Meet
morning.
me at
Donkey, this morning there were the two geniuses were talking about coming to their place to go fight each other. It was.
Who?
We're gonna fight.
Who was
Fight
talking?
you because you said something bad about a girl. Oh yeah, will you come over here? I'll fight
That,
you.
I didn't say it. I don't think you were paying attention. It wasn't me
I
that
was
said that.
talking
It was
about
that
the
guy,
other guy,
Alex.
Draco, you freak of nature.
No, it wasn't me that said that, you dumb fuck.
I just
It
said
was
that,
that
you
guy,
dummy.
Alex C. Yeah, it wasn't me that said
I
that shit.
know,
That,
I
oh,
just
let's
said-
meet up. He said that, not me. He said, wait, so why are you telling me this?
I'm telling Donkey about what you and that dummy decided. Like you guys were gonna.
Do you want to impress Donkey? Is that it? You want to,
Meet me
show
at
him
the
that you're a
fucking train.
real man?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Are you guys together? You guys suck each other's little
We
bitch
are-
dicks?
yes. Typically, we spoon.
In America, I call Archer head mother.
Typically. Typically.
Listen, go get your ketchup.
Bro, I'll put ketchup on both of you little bitches, man.
You love your.
Bro, I love myself, faggot, and you're a bitch.
Hold
in front
on,
of
would
me.
you use the good
You're a
quality
bitch
stuff?
in front
or
of me.
Are you
See,
gonna,
look at
are you
yourself,
gonna give
nigga.
us
You,
like the high?
bro, you talk like a little faggot, dude. You're always like, hey, Spiritus, did you know this? Hey, Spiritus, blah, 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 blah. Hey, Spiritus, yeah. You're like a little bitch. You're like a little girl, 24/7 faggot. Get a
real.
fucking life, understand? You got fucking pubic hair on your fucking little bitch dick. Get a fucking
Donkey-
life, get off my dick.
Donkey, you
Before I
talk-
spit in your mouth, bitch.
Most men have a little bit of pubic
Yeah,
hair down
but you
there.
got
We
a little
don't
bit
all
of more pubic hair in your fucking mouth, faggot.
Donkey, you
How do you
talk.
explain that?
You talk a lot of shit for someone with such a small truck.
I'm talking shit. I'm letting Draco run his mouth.
Oh my
Whatever
god,
team you're on.
man, bro! I don't know how to come up with that shit, bro. You got a small truck, is that it, donkey? Get off my dick, faggot. You understand? I'll fucking
Run
snap
with
your
it,
neck.
Draco.
You're
I
lucky
guarantee
there's
you the
fucking
smallest
laws,
truck
dude.
in fucking
You know,
America
because
is
people
bigger
like
than the
you,
biggest
you know,
goddamn
they test
tractor
me
in
a lot, right? Because I want to be a decent person, right? But I realize that
But
also
then I come and I get
people
so
like
mad,
you,
and I don't know
you
to,
should not
I just
exist,
get
bro.
mad and angry.
The
And
world
then I
would
talk
be a
about I
better
want to
place
be
if you
decent,
did
but
not
I'm really
exist.
not. So I just yell.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you. Understand?
Oh, little
Fuck
bitch.
you and your motherfucking mama.
You know what? You remind me. You remind me of Sue, dude. You just
You
get
remind me
triggered.
of my little
So
bitch.
easy. You're so easy. Like I don't, it's not
You
even
remind.
fun.
You're so easy as well. That's why I call you my little bitch.
Call me.
So
Okay,
Draco,
you are my sweet bitch.
Draco, I'm going to post a link for you, and it's an article about pad thai. And I copied one of the quotes from inside the article. So
You
this
know what,
hold
lady blacksmith?
metalsmith.
Let me ask you
Down, boy.
something.
Down,
Why are
down,
you
boy.
talking to me
Down,
when
boy. Down.
24/7 you're
Down.
ignoring me,
Down.
and all of a sudden you
Down,
want to
boy.
talk to me, bitch?
Down. Bad.
Why?
Bad boy.
Explain that to me.
I'm always willing to talk to you as long as
No,
you're not.
no, you're not.
Let
You
me finish.
always have this accent on you.
Let me finish.
I don't want to finish. You want to mock me with a fucking article, bitch. Pad Thai sauce recipe for the
Is
best
that what your
authentic
pad Thai looked like?
pad
Did your
Thai.
pad Thai
See,
look
that's
like
not
the
what the fuck
picture
I
there?
ate. So stop.
Did your pad Thai look like
Stop
normal
talking
pad
about
Thai?
this,
Because that's what pad Thai is.
It doesn't
What you
matter,
had was
man. Talk
fucking
about real
noodles and
shit,
ketchup.
Metalsmith.
Noodles and ketchup is not what you're seeing in the picture, is it? That's why we're laughing our fucking asses at your dumb.
So Ranger, not Ranger, Donkey, look at the quote right above where the link is. That's the quote that I pulled out of the article. If you see a pad Thai sauce recipe calling for ketchup, do not make. I beg you.
You can call it a noodle stir fry, but it won't. But
Doesn't
you won't.
matter, bro.
in
I
good
liked it.
conscience,
I
be
ate
able
it.
to call it pad
You're just looking
Thai,
for something
not
to
pad Thai.
use to just
even
pick on me and
Romania,
shit
it's
like
not
that, right?
pad Thai.
But I
A
can
noodle
do the
stir
same to
fry,
you.
if
You gotta
want to be
realize
a
that.
concierge, yeah,
20
but you put
fucking
ketchup on it.
times
It's really
harder.
just noodle and ketchup,
So,
yeah?
Lady Metalsmith, you're being a little bitch, and Donkey Show, you're
This
being
she just found off the internet, yeah? She
sucker.
copy and paste.
You're being a little
Is
sweet
ketchup
sucker.
good on pad Thai? I said no,
You're a
it's no
sucker.
good.
I'm gonna fucking put only ketchup on pad thai from now on. You understand?
No, you have porman noodle, understand?
Whatever you want to say, dude. I ate, feel good. And you're the cocksucker trying to boost his
And
little bitch
ketchup
ego
very
by
cheap,
attacking
so
me with
win-win, yeah? I'd
fucking
be like,
noodles.
what a bitch, yeah?
Wow. That's how small you are. Damn,
Draco,
bro.
it was funny. It was
Shut the
funny.
fuck up, bitch. No, let me talk normally, okay? Look, 'cause it's also comedy, right? Which you don't understand because you're a bitch, right? Look, shut the fuck up, you fucking retard. Nobody cares about noodles, pad thai, ketchup. Yeah, it's just a discussion. If you don't like noodles with ketchup, don't need them. Try hard. Yes, you made correctly. Yes, absolutely. That's exactly how you should make them. Constantly make them like that.
Here's that guy, the one that is aggressive all the time. I must say something to annoy him. He is so easy to annoy.
You know who does this? Children, women, Donkey. Children and women do this, bro. Please stop behaving like that. You're insulting yourself. See? Lady Metalsmith, why don't we talk about your weight and your age?
Okay, let's talk
Okay,
about my weight.
okay. How old are you? I don't think you've ever told me.
Oh, I've been very open in this room. I'm 60 years old.
No, you're not fucking 60 years old. Get the fuck out of here.
I just turned 60 in August.
I don't fucking believe you. I don't believe you.
Well, believe it or not, I have a 37-year-old son.
And okay, so why are you so stuck up all the time? Like, why do you sound like a secretary, or like a teacher in high school that she's superior to all the students? Why?
I didn't realize I sounded like that.
Yeah, you do sound like that. And how dare you come here? I mean, look, man, this is never mind. Forget it.
Shit, the pad thai really got him twisted.
Do your thing, because no, I realize
No more pad thai
I
recipe.
realize how much power I have, and I don't want to be a douchebag to her, right? Because I could fucking destroy her. And what do you want, stupid horse? Eat your fucking grains, man. Eat your apples.
I do with ketchup.
So Draco, listening to me on here, how old did you think I was?
30-something, to be honest.
Wow. I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, you can take it as a compliment, bitch. You sure do like hanging out with sexist men and cocks, for 60 years old. I mean...
No, usually when those kind of the sexist men come in and stuff, I usually leave or I mute them. And a lot of times I have you muted because you go overboard. But this morning you actually were being very nice and having good conversation, and I was enjoying talking to you.
When was this? This morning? Like when?
Or it's early this
Draco's
afternoon.
like, oh shit, I'm slipping.
I know, when we were talking about the strawberries.
Ah, okay. Well, that was like, 10 minutes. I like humor that is humor. I don't like these, I'm attacking you. I'm taking a jab at you. Ha ha ha. That's funny. No. Watch some Bill Burr. Yeah, that's funny. Watch some Eddie Griffin. That's funny.
But there's a difference between laughing at you and laughing with you.
Which you were laughing at me, not with
No,
me.
I
Because
wasn't. That
laughing.
was
Yes, you
no, that
were.
was
Listen. You like to hurt people's feelings. I understand that.
no. You
Yes.
got me all wrong. You honestly have me all wrong. I thought it was funny, and I thought you could, laugh at yourself. And Lord knows I've had to laugh at myself in here. And sometimes people say things that are funny, and that was funny.
Look, I understand your method, okay? I really do, but I'm not like in the mood. Let's laugh at myself. Believe me, I got too many things on my mind and in my life to do that shit. Maybe, I don't know, maybe whatever. Laugh at yourself. Like, okay, well, let's laugh at
No!
yourself as well.
They're all gonna
Let's
laugh
laugh at
at you.
Oh, I'm more
Yeah.
than I'm more than willing to laugh at myself when I do stupid stuff.
What is... I don't think so, because women are really sensitive, yeah, when it comes to this. And I don't think you laugh at yourself.
You really don't know me very well.
Well,
You
do
can
you
think
want
what
me
you
to know
want.
you, darling?
Here you go.
No, not particularly.
Hey, Mom,
I
guess
think.
what? I got invited to a party tonight, and I'm gonna go
You
if
know
that's
what you
okay
see.
with you.
No!
Why not, Mom?
Yeah, why, Mom? You should go.
It's gonna be fun. I'll get to meet new people.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Oh, Mom.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Don't worry, Brad.
Hey, Mom, I saw this great skirt at the mall today, but it was $34, which isn't that high of a price, but I was nervous to buy it. What do you think?
No!
Really? I really like
They're
it.
all gonna laugh at you.
Oh, Mom, who is?
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Please.
Yeah. She's not gonna get jealous. Don't try to use Reba. Yeah. Let Reba be. Yeah. She's okay where she is there. Yeah. Don't try to influence her and all that shit. Lady Metalsmith. I just wanna this I don't know, this attitude of yours. I can't believe you're 60 years old. I
Yep.
feel like you're.
I was born in August of 1959.
What if the Nazis won World War II?
Heaven, bro, heaven. You realize America. Do you realize the level of culture that would have been in America? Holy shit, bro. Wow, you would have seen theaters, man, everywhere. Sculptures, culture, books, real books. Women would have worn dresses. Men would have had etiquette. No gangster bullshit. No backstabbing bullshit. No rattery.
Man in dress should not maybe talk about women.
Amongst other things.
P. Mars, you can go read a book about it. There's a book.
Draco, I'll tell you a quick story. So in the late 60s, see, I was 12, so that would have been, well, no, I guess very, very early 70s. My father was in Vietnam. He was fighting the war. And that was the time when girls had to wear dresses to school. And where I lived, it would get really cold and it would snow. And I wanted to wear pants to school just to get to school, like under my skirt so that I could stay warm. I had to write a letter to my father, who was fighting a war in Vietnam, and get his permission to wear pants to school underneath my skirts.
That's fantastic, absolutely. It's amazing. You caught some decent times. You know.
Life was very different back then.
Yes. But you seem young, like, your attitude is young. Have you done any sports or something?
Not really, but I am young at heart. I am absolutely. I don't think I act 60, and if you saw a picture of me, you would not think I looked 60. But I am. I really am.
Right.
You're really
well,
immature.
Go ahead, Mars.
Hey, Mars wants to know if ketchup with hot dog is stroganoff.
I was just agreeing with her, like, she's very immature.
That's funny. See, that's funny. To me, that's funny.
Stroganoff for dinner?
Yeah, but the Lady Metalsmith, those were good times, right? You wore a dress, had some decency. No, nowadays it's just thought.
I will agree with you that the morality of young people these days, in general, you can't say every one of them because they're all individuals, but in general, I don't find it to be so great. I think there was a lot to be said for family values and morality back in the days when I grew up.
Yeah. Yep. The infiltration of the American people was done since 60s, and especially in the 80s, man. In the 80s, yep. I agree with you, bro. And in the 80s, that's when, boom, that was boom, dude. Boom, boom, boom.
Yo, all I want to know is, what did Carol Bassett do with her husband? Did she feed him to the tiger? Did she put him through the meat grinder? Did she bury him?
He's in the septic tank under the guest house.
Yeah, but then, I don't know, that has DNA. They're saying it's septic tank.
Bro.
I don't know, all those things would leave DNA, like the septic tank, the grinder, the food grinder. The tiger, I mean, once the tiger dies, she could just kill the tiger and keep the fur
But the
as
the
a
septic
as a
tank, Bart, the septic tank is underneath a house, and no one has ever dug it up to look in there.
When did they put septic tanks under houses? I don't think they've ever done that.
They built. Go back and look at the facts on this case. There was a septic tank, and after her husband passed, they built a house over the top of the septic tank. I don't know that it's an active septic tank at this point, or if it's just the tank buried under the ground, but the house was built after her husband was killed.
I haven't finished all of that, but like I would think that if they came to the conclusion of that, the law enforcement would have zero problems getting to that septic tank. Like they will rip your house to pieces. They'll rip your car to pieces.
Not inept.
dude. They could have just took a DNA test of the meat grinder. They didn't even do that. And
Yeah, but like she was saying, if you saw the picture of the meat grinder, to put human body parts in that meat grinder, they would not have fit in there. She would have had to cut him up so small to fit through that meat grinder.
how about not feed one of those lions? What are they called? The mixture, the liger. Those things are huge. Don't feed a liger for a couple of days. I mean, but then
Yeah,
that would leave a lot of DNA also, right? All over the place.
bones and yeah, the bones would be left behind and yeah.
So, Lady Metalsmith, are you a feminist?
No, I am not.
Okay. You believe in traditional values?
Yeah, I mean, some of my ideas are a little more progressive. I mean, I'm not far right conservative, but I'm kind of middle of the road. But yeah, I believe I lean more toward the traditional values.
Right. But these progressive values, what do you mean by them? Like, what are they?
Well, like I believe women have a right to have an abortion if that's what they so choose. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I do believe in choice, freedom of choice. But then on a lot of other things, I've been married for 30 years and I have
Right, right.
traditional views on marriage.
Well,
I just,
I mean, I look, I think this abortion thing, it should exist only if it's really, really, really necessary. Only then. But not, yeah, it's my choice, my body. No, no, it's not just your body. It's your body, the child's body, and the man's body, because he contributed to that. No, so
well, he did, but he also has the choice to walk away and never have to deal with any of
yeah,
the.
but I don't think they want to walk away and walk away.
Oh, I think a lot of men do. But yeah, I mean, it's a very controversial topic, and when I am presented with an issue, I really try hard to look at all sides and understand all sides, and then, form my opinions based on what I know. And it is a controversial topic. I agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. And what other progressive values?
I believe that women can have careers in the workforce if they choose to.
But you're basically a feminist.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't
I
believe in that.
still, oh, well, there are
You
some
don't
things
believe? I
I
mean,
believe.
if you have, go ahead.
Yeah, I believe in traditional family values. I believe in staying married and working on those kinds of
But
things.
but you
I
don't.
believe, yeah, I do. I've been
No,
married 30
because
years, Draco. Do you think there haven't been times along the way that we both wanted to walk out?
I think he should have slapped your ass, you know. But listen,
Well, hey, he may do that occasionally too. You never know.
you see, this is what I'm talking about. The subversion of these traditional values to such a degree that
All my traditions are
you
gone.
think you have traditional values, but you don't because they've been switched around. You know, they've been switched around. Now it's traditional. The woman works. No, 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 no. That's not traditional at all. It's
All
from
right,
the 60s.
name a traditional value, Draco, that you speak of.
I already did, bro.
Name
The
another.
man provides. The woman stays at home. Takes care of the kids, her house. Yeah, because
And
it's
that
her
is that I
nest.
agree. That's long-lived tradition ever since caveman has been slapping them over the head and dragging them back to the cave. Right?
Oh, I'm
Women
sorry.
stay at
We should
home.
have
Man,
progressive values, right? Not
long-lived
caveman
tradition.
values. No, no, no.
Cave
We should have
tradition.
fucking
We must
feminists and
move back.
hoes and bitches and all that shit. Yeah, 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 that's much better. Not fucking good women that are, want to have kids and love their kids and their husband and their house and wear dresses and be decent and be educated and read books and go to the theater and all that shit. No, 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 no. That's caveman shit, everybody. Yeah.
No, but Draco, in today's world, it's not always practical financially for a woman to stay at home. I mean, a lot of women have to work just to, keep the household going.
I
I
agree
thought we were
with you,
talking
but
tradition, Draco. What is tradition except the previous example, right? So tradition is something that came from
eat a
the past.
fucking bullet, bitch.
So my example of
Shut the fuck
caveman
up.
is absolutely correct.
The caveman was smarter than you, bro. The caveman was more moral than you, man.
I have more forehead than the caveman, so I got him beat.
No, you don't. You have more bitchness
No,
than the caveman. Yeah.
No, I've seen his picture. It's true. But Draco, do you practice what you preach?
No, because I'm not married, bro. If I was married, then yes, I would like to practice it. But the thing is, because most of society has been indoctrinated with this shit, it's very hard to find somebody that thinks like that. It's extremely hard. Most likely, you're not going to find somebody like that, and they're not caveman values at all. And the reason why it's hard for women, it's because the people that invented this economical system, they did that on purpose. Okay, you're supposed to work on purpose.
It's true, man. I've been dating, right? And then I tell the woman, like, hey, so if you
Yeah, and
want to
sometimes,
be in a
like I said,
relationship with
just
me,
to
you just have to
get
do what
by,
I tell
you
you.
need two
And she
incomes in
gets
that
offended.
household.
Look, they made it in such a way that on purpose it is like this. Okay, they knew that if you start working, yeah, as women, they could make money off of you, yeah, because you also pay taxes. So when they gave you equal rights, they weren't thinking about your freedom. They were thinking about making money off of you. Yeah, I'm sorry, but that's how it is, man. And Nemi do want to work 10 hours a week. Yes, right now.
So Draco, when do you tell your dates, like your view that they shouldn't be working, and if you ever were to marry, that they just be in the kitchen and that's about it? So when do you tell them?
In the beginning, bro.
So like right up front, first date, they shouldn't be
You
working.
tell
Not
woman
first
before
date.
you give coffee. Before the coffee, you not touch fucking coffee, woman, unless you give in kitchen.
Before the rape, bro.
Before the
Oh, come on, Draco. Don't go there.
No, I'm
Don't.
joking.
before he hits him at the club and drags him by the hair.
Exactly. I wanted to say that. Right before You know, pow, right
I
in
don't
the
think I'm
kisser.
supposed to catch her. She's very fast.
Oh my god, dude, change your fucking CD, donkey. Bro, you can do better than that, man. Come on. I'm sure you can do better than that.
I'll
I
try.
have
I'll try.
faith in you,
You
bro.
know, I
Yes, we
challenge people
can.
to up
Yeah.
their game all the time.
Look,
I'm gonna do
it's
better.
pointless because most women are not like that anymore. So don't you worry, okay? Don't you worry.
I just find this entertaining that somebody who's not married is telling people how they should live their life when married.
Well, let me
Yeah,
tell you
well,
this, Draco. I
you know,
got a
other
woman,
people may
and
have better
she'll,
ideas than
she'll
you,
cook,
even if you're
she'll
married. It
clean,
doesn't
she'll
matter.
do whatever the fuck you tell her, Draco. Very traditional.
No?
But she also has a job, makes her own money, and can be self-sufficient.
No, we don't
Oh,
need that. We
yeah,
don't
that's
need
all
that.
true too.
Point to that. Because if you have that, if both parents work, then what's going to happen is you're going to have less time to teach your child, you know, values, stuff, spend time with him, her. Yeah. So that's made on purpose. That was made on purpose to also disrupt the family, to destroy the foundation of family, which was built in fucking years and years and years and years. Yeah. So when they said, you know, a few years ago when I was seeing people saying they want to destroy the family, I would laugh at them. Yeah. And now guess what? I agree with them because it's true.
Yeah, I do agree that the family unit is under attack. But
Which family unit?
Have you ever been married, Draco?
No. I haven't. I already said.
Which
But
family
he's
unit
an
do you mean?
expert on the topic, though. He's an expert.
Well,
Again, you don't have to be married. Yeah, you don't have to have children to understand different ways of raising children. Some that are better, some that are good. Like you literally don't.
I agree, Draco. You can certainly have. Now, I will say this, you know, you certainly can have ideas on what you think an ideal family life would be, but once you're in it, those ideals kind of change a little bit when you see the reality of things. It just is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I don't, you know, I think that you're right. You will probably be very hard pressed to find a woman who believes in all of that. So you're going to have to settle for the closest you can get. Now, you asked me how old I was, so let me ask you the same thing. How old are you, Draco?
I thought I told you this. Like I've been saying this for days that I'm 32 years old.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear. I haven't been on. I haven't been on as much. So you're the same age as my youngest son, so I could be your mother.
Right.
So Draco, if
Oh,
you want
okay.
a
You
woman
wanna
to
be my
stay
mommy?
home, if you
That's how
want her to
that's how you
stay
wanna
and
start?
cook, do you provide for her? Are you gonna pay the bills and make sure that
you know,
happens? Is
getting
that all right?
along better.
I'm just asking you a
On that
question.
level directly.
I'm
huh?
up in
Okay.
my game. If you don't want to answer my questions, that's up to
Can I ask one question real quick about the family unit? The family unit was originally a tribe, and that was destroyed by Nuclear Family, which was designed to sell a lot of fucking houses.
Wait,
Essentially, the real
what
family unit
family
is
was
not.
originally a tribe? Are you talking caveman?
We were not Nuclear Family ever. Nuclear Family is not our natural status. That's what was built.
He's right, Donkey.
To
Marriage
separate us.
I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm asking him
I
questions.
kind of agree
Also,
with
hold on,
you
Draco.
in the
So
sense
what?
that
Hold on,
Who's right?
Draco.
Who
Intelligence
cares?
came into the room.
the
Just
first
be quiet over
family,
Let's speed up to.
Draco.
your
Yeah,
ranger
I don't
horse.
care what Draco's position on a clan is.
Yeah, okay, shut the fuck up. Ranger horse. Yeah, you are kind of right, but you know, it wasn't like 100% like that, right? Everybody in the tribe would teach the child something, but everybody knew that look, when it comes down to it, this is my child and her child. Yeah, this is our child. We made this child. Yeah, we gave birth to this child.
Anything outside
But yeah,
of
you're right.
caveman,
It's kind of
okay,
like the
beat her
whole
on the
tribe
head,
was
drag her back to the fucking cave is progressive.
raising
We
the
can't
Well,
child.
be on this.
Oh,
Lady Metalsmith, what ways are the family under attack?
What's up, gamer?
I just think things like parents' ability to truly parent their child. I mean, good Lord, I read articles about a family who allowed their children to walk to the neighborhood school and CPS wanted to take their kids away from them. You know, yes, I agree that if there's abuse, they should be taken away. But I think all of this politically correct stuff, and I think we baby our children way, way, way too much.
Absolutely.
This thing
Oh,
about, oh,
CPS is evil.
we can't give a letter grade because that might hurt their feelings, or I mean, we're just not teaching our kids how to go out and live in the real world.
I have something relevant. Did you know in Japan, at age 7, the kids are expected to like know how to take the subway to school by themselves?
Good. That's
When
good.
I was 5 years old and I lived in Seattle, West Seattle, and I was going to kindergarten, I used to wear a little note pinned on my coat that said, my name is so-and-so and I live at so-and-so. So if I got lost, somebody could get me home.
In Japan, the kids know they're all black belts of kung fu by the age of 6.
Well, the reason they are kind of thrown out at such a young age is because the work culture is so intense. So it's sort of by necessity. But, you know, it'd be better if it was just more of a choice type thing. But the parents work so much.
Yeah, I just think we in this country coddle our kids. We don't teach them respect at a young age. We don't teach them how to work.
Yeah, but I wouldn't take those things. I wouldn't take those things as an attack on the
Oh,
family.
look how
If the
Donkey
family
turned
them,
out. No respect, doesn't work, lazy
Can
pocket.
Ranger talk, or are you just going to interrupt him?
but that's you know how people choosing to raise their family. I don't. I
Yeah,
was taking it as
no, but I think it is. I think society is moving a majority of people towards, you know, these values. I mean, the whole value of hard work. You know, when I grew up and first went into the workforce, I was taught that you go and you start at the bottom and you work your ass off and you prove yourself. This isn't related to family per se, but it does come from family values and ethics. You work hard, you prove yourself, and then you get the rewards. Today, because of how kids are raised and how it is, they want to walk in, get all the rewards before they've ever done any of the work.
But what you're saying is exactly what Draco is saying, except at a different place and time. He would say when women went to work, that destroyed it. That was an attack on.
I thought we were
Not only
all
an
a
attack on the
unit.
family, but an attack on women themselves, bro. Because it told them, look, you women are weak bitches. You gotta go to work, okay? You're weak. You're weak. You gotta be like men. So there you go.
Just
Go and
a
masculinize
quick
yourself.
update here.
Go and compete.
Governor Cuomo.
Go and compete in the workplace like men.
Imagine thinking having a job is masculine. Holy fuck.
So Governor
Imagine
Cuomo
being
is
an
having
effeminate little faggot.
When is the great
Cool ad hom, bro. I guess I'm right.
Having a career is masculine.
Louder, Bart. I can't, Bart.
It
I can't
is.
hear you.
It is a masculine thing because
Man,
it's a
yell,
thing
Bart.
of, you know, developing yourself, going out
Bart,
there,
come
reaching.
up over the top.
going
Okay, so only men are allowed to better themselves. Okay, retard.
Speaking, shut your little mouth, bitch.
Don't you
okay?
know the difference?
make me.
He doesn't know the difference between masculinity
Make
and
me. There
femininity.
you go. There you go.
He's a fucking tranny.
We hooked one.
Oh, I'm so scared.
All right,
You
so
should be
Speaky, what's a define one masculine trait?
Speaking, where are you transitioning?
Speaky, what define a masculine trait?
Neighboring states about how they should.
You're an expert on masculinity. Name one masculine trait?
From neighboring states about how
Bro,
they
having a
should handle it.
career is a masculine
Rhode
job because
Island?
you gotta
For sure.
compete.
Done that
You gotta
months ago.
compete constantly, yeah? If
Having
you wanna
a family
compete
is
as a woman, go right
feminine.
ahead, but I'm telling you, in a few
It's like
years,
Delaware,
you're gonna
Rhode
be
Island.
fucking bitter from it. You're gonna be like,
Draco, you want to suck the king's dick? You don't want to have your wife suck the king's dick? That's what it is? Because you're fucking... The system's
I want
bullshit
you to suck my
anyways.
dick. I want you to suck my dick.
I got a big...
Not a
well,
part of your
an
system.
unnecessarily large mouth for that.
Here we
but-
go. Here we go.
What's
So
up, Draco? Good morning.
What's up, Alex? Peace to
Draco,
you.
I don't disagree that when women started going to work, that was a hit on the family, the traditional family, because now all of a sudden kids had to be in daycares or be latchkey kids, and there's a whole thing around.
Talk to me.
What if I
You
said
denounce your
Michelle,
own
she
woman in
said to
front
you,
of
would you
us,
Ron, if
your
you're still
own
trying to talk to
womanhood,
me like I'm
bitch?
gonna listen to, I'm gonna watch.
Well, what if I said it to Michelle and
You're
Michelle sent it to
Very
populating.
you?
nice.
Will you watch it?
Very nice, Bart. Very nice, bro. That's so good, man.
Oh, so he,
Antioxidant fruit blend. Ooh, sweetness for life.
I wish there was.
So, Michelle,
y'all. Aren't we just
hey, hey,
Yeah,
Ranger,
it's
have
such
you
a
ever
lovely
No, it's
hit
day.
not a
Too
capacity on
lovely
a
bad
day.
ventilator
I
you
wish
fucking
there
during
was
the
a true
COVID?
auditor that was
biatch.
in here that actually did go out and audit or cop one.
It actually did go out. I talk
Has
like
New York
this.
ever hit
Hey,
capacity on a ventilator?
P-Mars.
But of course,
Hey,
nobody in here
P-Mars, why
defends
What's the
don't you
point of
get
a
cop.
a
real auditor being in
circumcision?
here, Sarge, when you're just going to tell them they're a loser and they shouldn't be doing it?
Hey,
I mean, I don't
Bart.
know why you're
Hey,
here.
Bart.
There's no point of you being here. You
Wait,
don't support
Bart.
them. Start your own server
Don't you think?
about how you
Don't you
hate
think
them.
there should be,
Now
Michelle?
what's up?
Hey, Bart, why don't you shut up? I'm
What
Private
do you
Shadow,
think,
bro.
Michelle? I need your approval.
Yeah, what do you think, Michelle? When I talk like this, do you feel blacked or do you feel white?
Yeah, Michelle, and if you don't agree with me, I'm shy as a shadow, and I'll dox you.
I know, Bart.
Oh yeah, she can. And you're her tampon, right?
Yeah.
You're her encouragement, her white knight on the internet.
Am I defending anybody? I didn't think so.
I mean, you're kind of riding her. You're riding my dick
All
for
you
her.
can
I don't
do,
know why.
Draco, all you can do is talk shit all day long. You probably sit in front of the computer,
Yeah.
fat as fuck.
I know that
I'm
you
tired
were
of hearing I'm
you
tired of
saw
hearing
that
that voice
bitch
of
O'Connell
yours.
today.
I'm tired of
She
hearing
was
that I'm a
saying that I'm a
slut. You don't
bottom and
know
all that.
anything
So
about
I don't know. Maybe
yourself.
Ambrosia said that, but you don't have to behave like her.
Got
Why
him.
do you behave like bonehead?
And as long as you're man enough to admit
Oh
it, I
my
accept your
God,
apology.
Riva, you're.
You know, Draco, one of the
I'm not gonna
Draco,
apologize.
one of the traditional values that I do really like and I support is that when men are in the presence of women, they should really not be talking vulgar. Like that's not a nice way to treat women, and that's an old traditional. That's a traditional value. That
Okay, listen, mommy. Okay, mommy, 'cause I feel like you're fucking mommying me. Yeah, I talk however the fuck I want. Yeah.
Yeah, I am the astro creature.
like a lady.
Yes.
Now,
I agree with you, but in order, hold on, in order for that to happen, you have to be a lady, yeah? And you have to also do things for your man, like you gotta make a sandwich, you gotta, all that shit, yeah?
Oh yeah. Hold on, Draco.
and
You're
Draco,
saying it wrong.
Draco, wait a minute,
What
Bart.
they need to do is if
Bart.
I open the door for you.
Yeah.
No, wait a
No,
second.
let me
If I
respond to
open the
Bart.
door,
No, wait,
and
I
I
want to hear
swing
this.
back around, right?
Yeah.
If I open the door for you and I swing around and you don't unlock the door for me,
Okay.
see, I'll open the door for you all day. But if you're
Right.
not reaching over to unlock the door for me, honey, and I gotta do it like you, then honey, you lost 10 points, girl.
Hey, Sturgis, you looking kind of cute, homie. Can I kiss you goodnight?
Yeah. Come over here.
Water glistening all over your body.
Oh my God.
There's water glistening all over your
Body.
You looking thicker than a bowl of oatmeal spiritus.
Shout out to STL, my nigga.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're looking tummy thick today.
Mm-mm-mm.
What a wonderful audience.
Oh my God.
Fuck you,
Boy,
fucking
P-Mars,
P-Mars.
bro, you're funny, man. Oh my God, bro, that's comedy right there.
I fucking hate you, P-Mars.
Listen, P-Mars is he's a stand-up dude.
So
This fucking beta boy keeps like messaging me. He's like, "Give me attention, please. I'm rich. Please come over here and fuck me." Like, fuck you, P Mars.
Yo, Meth God, who's paying
Well,
your rent?
I
Who's paying
mean-
your rent this month, Meth God?
I am. I'm paying my own rent, bitch.
No, I'm saying, like, who gave you the money to pay your rent?
Nobody. I made it myself.
Did you really?
Yes.
Is that from your e-boys? Is that a collective amount? Of money
No,
that you
actually, it's from selling meth and crocodile.
Nice.
Whoa.
So
Like
Yeah, you want to buy some meth?
So how's it?
You can
How's
see.
COVID-19 affected your business there?
You see why I'm attracted to her.
Well, you know, actually, the meth makes you immune to the COVID-19, so, you know, it is.
So you know. So you
So
know.
you know.
No, I don't
Fucking-
know. I
fucking
don't
shite.
know.
So do you
you
still
know
put
what?
it in like plastic
wonderful audience.
baggies and stuff? Like, are you afraid of spreading the?
Oh yeah, I
coronavirus,
put
or
it
do you
in little balloons and I stick it up my asshole and that's how I carry it around. That's how I make my
I'll
drug
take
deals.
some.
Wow. Wow.
Hell yeah, I want some definitely now.
Yeah.
Did you say?
Yeah, and balloons.
Is the balloon?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you like red ones?
Yeah, but what would it do up there?
blue
How do you
balloons.
distribute it? Or do you just fart them out? Or I mean, how does that
So
work?
what I do is I take a big fat steamy shit right on their fucking chest, and that's where the meth comes out. That's how they get their
Delivery.
meth.
Knew somebody was
But
paying
That's
your
a
rent.
hot delivery
Knew
right there.
somebody was paying your rent. Knew somebody.
Literally a hot delivery.
Wait, why don't you just tie him to some anal beads?
Anal beads is like that's for faggots. We ain't about that gay shit here.
Yo, watch your mouth. All right.
No, you.
They might do that kind of stuff where you live, but not.
Meth God, your profile picture very interesting. You know, it's like your the future of the workforce in the Communistic Party of Russia. You know,
Will you have my
The-
babies,
the-
Meth God?
the
Huh?
future woman,
Meth
right?
God,
It's like
will you marry me and have my babies, please?
Kill yourself, Beta. You fucking simp.
Hey, Meth God, why are you got the box roll? You from
No.
oh my god, man, this should be a show. Bro.
You know, we're gonna send all simps, including PMARS, to Guantanamo Bay 2020.
Yeah. So who are you gonna marry
Yeah.
if you send them all away? I mean,
You fucking what?
how would you make money? How would you make money if you get rid of all this?
I just want to give you all my money.
Oh shit, you right. Yeah, never mind. I guess
Oh,
we do have
that's
to
a
keep
good
simps.
one.
You right.
Oh,
You right.
right.
Nick.
You right.
You don't like Sims. You
We
like real
we
life.
out here. We out here.
We out here
We out
smoking
there.
penises. No homo.
She's
Oh wait, no, never mind. It's a lockdown. We not out here.
She's subservient.
Social distancing and shit.
Nigga.
I'm saving lives, staying at home. I'm a hero, nigga.
social distance?
Lady.
I'm out here spreading this shit like.
I potentially.
They said you can spread it up to
Spreading that shit like peanut butter.
So 6 feet actually isn't.
Yeah, I've been staying 6 feet away from Meth God, saving her life, and she still won't marry me. Like, you save a woman's life, and she doesn't even give a shit about it these days.
If you just enter my house.
Do you got a man?
Yes, I do.
Did you know that Draco likes to tickle men's balls?
Oh no, I didn't know that, but I'm totally into that. You know.
Yo.
Now maybe I did all mean to treat treat you bad, but I did it anyway. And then maybe some would say your life was saved. Now maybe did I mean to treat you bad, but I did it anyway. And then maybe some would say your life was saved, but you lived it anyway. And so maybe your friends that stand around you watch you crumble as you fall down to the ground. And then someday your friends that stand beside as you were flying, oh, you were flying oh so high. But then someday people look at you, they're what they call their own, they watch you suffer. Yeah, here you're going home. And then someday we could take our time to brush the leaves aside so you can't reach us. Hey, but you left me far behind. Now, did I mean to treat you so bad? But I did it anyway. Now I'm saying, but some would say you left with what you had, but you couldn't share the pain. Now, couldn't share the pain and watch you suffer. Now maybe could have made my own mistakes, but I live with what I've known. And then maybe we might share in something great. Won't you look at where we've grown? Won't you look at where we've grown? And then someday comes tomorrow holds sense of what I feel for you in my mind as you trip the fire line. And that cold day when you lost control. Shame you left my life so soon. You should have told me. Hey, but you left me far behind. Now did I mean to treat you so bad? Oh, but I did it anyway. Now some would say you left with what you had. Oh, but you couldn't share the pain. No, no.
Bart knows
That's
everything.
fucking hilarious.
Yeah, because Bart
So
knows
this
it
is
all.
this is a
That's
drama community.
exactly what
This
it
is
is,
not a
Bart.
cop watching
That's what
community.
Bart knows.
This is a drama community.
Ever since Bart came
This
in
is
here,
the
it's
Earl
the same
followers.
boring
This is
thing
like
every
the
day.
Grateful Dead for Earl. You know what I mean? Like,
Rage
follow
quit,
him.
come back. Rage quit, come back. Complain, whine, show cooking pictures.
And you know, Barth, the guy that keeps bringing up things that I told people. I don't
Oh,
know.
Ricky Mouse. Oh,
I don't know why he thinks that bothers me because I'm the one who brought it up.
I don't know. I don't care, but I think it's good for people to know that you brag.
But second of
You
all-
brag and you come in. Your very first time in here, you come in here and you tell everybody in a new server.
Yeah, really? Wow. Oh my God. Tell me
Seriously,
something
Santa,
I don't
bro.
know.
Who
Oh my
hasn't
God.
raped 3 women?
Oh,
That's
you
the
got
question.
me. You got me, dude. You got
I
me.
mean,
He's just
we've
following
all
suit.
done that, bro. Like, you're
He's
acting
following
like,
suit.
we've all done that, bro. We've all done
So
that.
what I
You
was
think
trying
you're
to say, Bart,
special?
is,
No, you think you're
not
special.
only-
Shut the fuck up. You think you're special. Oh, I raped
Draco,
3
I'm
women.
being
Oh,
tough.
big fucking
Yeah,
deal,
your
bro.
mic is a little fucked up, dude. Just saying.
Okay.
It's a little uncomfortable. 'Cause
My
it's
mic?
going in and out.
All right.
My
All right.
bitch, you rich white boy.
In his mouth. Look at
Sooner
him.
or
He can't
later,
stop
you're gonna get caught if that's true. Understand? And then, nigga, you'll be fucking raped. Believe me, in jail. Ooh, wow, you'll have fucking pineapple-sized ass, nigga.
Draco, have you seen a picture of this guy? He'll probably do some good.
I haven't seen any picture of him. I don't think it's relevant.
I got one if you want to see it.
Yeah,
Post it in the chat. I don't care. I mean, I really don't care, right? But
It doesn't look like it's doing good.
Draco, between me and you, I think the guy's full of shit and a complete liar.
yeah, me too. I also think that.
Steele's really excited to see a picture of a man.
Oh, look at that. I'm
That's him.
Archer, I cleared the floor for you for that? Come on.
I mean,
was OG talking?
Eyes don't express anything.
What are you saying, OG?
Eyes don't express anything.
OG, did you say something? Because your mic is really shit. Say it again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know. I said I'm ugly. That's it.
Yo, swing the sword for the classic, yeah. Bring the noise with your hands up, slash and tear. You can't fathom asthma, dash for air. Spitting on a baby bib in the plastic chair. What's up, stupid? Shoot this. 151 in the shot glass, high flash. Bring it on the drum, huh? We cause havoc down in Las Vegas. Paper trails racing, Pelican beat cases. We outrageous, name the streets gave us. Yeah, we got fame, but now we heat blazes. I let them all fly, 10 in the clip, 1 in the chamber. Thumbs up, another banger. Untuck the flame, a dumb fuck. It's like getting hit with a dump truck. Brains and guts, maim, cut, aim, duck, same stuff. Get you cracked up like cocaine, heat 'em up, okay. I let a sucker slide once. Face down, found him in his Captain Crunch. Come on. Malpractice, the bang on jam. My joust rappers and tracking the radar scans. Flip beats with a crew like fleets and platoons. Reach for the moon like Reese Witherspoon. Don't stop the show shot, the rooftop anthem. Blast the gold box, cock back the cannon. What's up, partner? I got ya. What? Off that rock, crack the pinata. Slap box, mouth the backwash. Teeth mashed up on the asphalt, you dig? Set the pace like a Mustang mashing. Up the stakes, who wanna cut the cake? I take cash. Dropped on a bloodstained mattress. Stop. You ain't got access. Watch, I'ma change my accent. Right, you would talk, you little cunts in the game. You can suck my cock and lay flat on the ground. Don't make a peep. If you want the stains out now, get the bleach. Guess who got the rubber gloves and the bleach? Guess who rockin' every club? That's me. Get so hot you feel the buzz in the street. Keeping it knockin', Jay drop that beat. Guess who got the group name on top? SOB got the rap thing locked. Who want what, when, why, and what not? Who got next up, Ryu and top? Yeah, here it comes, all you hear is a click. Bloody brains on the sandwich like Miracle Whip. While the blood keeps gushing, relish and pink mustard, huh? I'ma slam till I tear it to bits. To the bell for the recess ring. On the defense game, you feel the grill like PF chains. Hopscotch on the corpse till I drop the torch and burn crews with a fuse that I rock before saying, don't stop the show shot, the rooftop anthem. Blast the gold box, cock back the cannon. What's up, y'all? We don't stall, come one, come on till we drop the ball like. Guess who got the rubber gloves and the bleach? Guess who rockin' every club? That's me. Get so hot you feel the buzz in the street. Keeping it knockin', Jay drop that beat. Guess who got the group name on top? SOB got the rap thing locked. Who want what, when, why, and what not? Who got next up, Ryu and top?
Well, I think he's running out of material now, unfortunately.
What?
Yeah, that's not
Nah,
any
I'll
of
never
your
run out of
business.
material, bro.
Oh, it's not any of my
So
business.
low on
Oh,
material,
okay.
You're repeating some of the same things you said.
Archer,
All right, but you
I don't know.
must
You
wear
know, I
them.
think he's kind of full of.
I'm not going to
He's full of
discuss
something.
my clothing with you.
Absolutely.
The more you don't tell me, the more I want to know.
Yeah, guy Bart. What are we gonna do with you, man?
Lady
What are we gonna do?
Metalsmith, you just want to play games, okay? Come on.
That's why classy women are the best.
Why? Because
Yeah.
I won't talk to you about my underwear?
I would say either
Shut your mouth.
promote me. I mean, you can't demote me. I'm already down at the bottom.
Woman.
Either promote me.
You're saying
All you women do is fucking provoke me sexually. That's all you fucking do. Every day I come on here, sex.
Look at me, I have sex.
There's really not much.
Oh, yeah, who wanna rip with styles? The whole place on the lookout for Mr. Brown. We got plenty of clues and forensic files, plus envious crews, so we trip for miles. It's, yeah, you know the drill, never holding them still. Roll them over the hill, just slide. Close your mouth and open the blinds. Clip the wings off a bird and it'll float to the side. Say, to hear me calling, shouting out my name, I'm playing this in the walk.
Hey yo, crash the gates, hey yo, pack the place up, break stuff, taking all the paper. I'ma stay laced up, keep a shake tuck, take a pay cut, even let you keep the dang pace up. Really? Say something, punk, what? Put away the blank gun. Fakes wanna talk about bank, but they make none. Live from the sweat box, sucking all the props up, pop some, looking for the fox hunt. Peace.
One shot, full clip, one up in the chamber. Danger, you know how we coming.
40-inch cables, what the drilly with that though? Tick blower.
One shot, full clip, one up in the chamber. Danger, you know how we coming.
Rock 40-inch cables, what the drilly with that though? Tick blower.
Yo, the joke's over, slap the blokes over. Catch a 40 caliber case of glaucoma. Riders like Johnny Depp rolling with Winona. Big trunk full of shit, blow the globe up. So what? Nobody knows us, got no love. Pop 6, ride you with top cops, know what it does. Hot shit, by the bungalow, drop the bloody glove. And won't get caught killing today, baby, cause I'm a thug. Bottles of beer on the land of 5 horses. Man who wasn't there like Billy Bob Thornton. Crush groove, laminate, stepping into the scene. Fertilized newborns, a requiem for a dream. It's legendary assignment. Searchlights hover but can't seem to find them. Track down whatever you can in the mist. In this case, it's strictly the hand over fist. So keep your eyes peeled, post and look fresh like Mammoth and Ideal. Hope to hook
Hey yo,
checks.
what's up? Taking the blows plus Jack. Whoever wanted with us get slapped up. Let it be known, Mr. Brown got something to bust. The blue steel touching his nuts. The pump got a sick mind of its own. Oh, cracking the globe like the edible egg. A nuclear rap bazooka with incredible aim. Who can you blame? I'm a troop cooped in a cage, and it's a thin line between a chip tooth and a fang. Come on.
You guys gonna get liquor?
Yo, it's just one of those things. When you wanna ride, but it just don't swing. Wanna kick a rhyme, but it just don't bang. Oh, you got that new shit that still sounds plain. Yo, it's just one of those things. When you wanna ride, but it just don't swing. Wanna kick a rhyme, but it just don't bang. Oh, you got that new shit that still sounds plain. Yeah. One shot, full clip, one up in the chamber. Danger, you know how we coming.
Rock 40-inch cables, what the drilly with that though? Tick blower.
One shot, full clip, one up in the chamber. Danger, you know how we coming.
Rock 40-inch cables, what the drilly with that though? Tick blower. What the drilly with that though? What the drilly with that though? What the drilly with that? That's the bad though. What banging? You hooked on my phone.
Bro, what the fuck? What the fuck is... What the fuck? My wife's boyfriend would disagree with you.
Time they unknown, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot to do with what's going on in hip-hop today, you know what I'm saying? But niggas don't realize it. Niggas in the streets realize it, but the press and the industry don't realize it. But it's all good. It is what it is.
dude, if anyone's trying hard, it's fucking you. Like, what was that thing you
Like-
just said?
Like, your dad, he hurt me.
Oh my god, dude. Look.
Go fuck your mom. God, you're such a kid. What is 20 years
I'm
old?
gonna shit on a
fuck your
girl's
mom.
chest tonight.
Silencio, old man. How's your
Silencio,
fucking
old-
cholesterol, old man?
Don't talk to meth god like
Excellent.
that, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm
Tell
gonna
him.
stick my
Tell him, P-Mart.
I'm gonna stick
Tell
my
that
fucking zip
motherfucker.
on you.
How dare you attack meth god?
Yeah, I'm his fucking woman, faggot. What the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
Meth god is
I'm talking to you,
breeding
motherfucker.
white babies. What
It's
the
not.
fuck are
It's
you
not
doing?
nice to talk to crippled people like
You,
that.
you learned some bad words, little girl. Now you're gonna use.
Her army of simps will get
Shut
you,
up,
boy.
boomer.
I'm gonna shit on a girl's
Shut
chest
up,
tonight.
fucker.
Pay her $500
You're
to
irrelevant,
take away
boomer.
her dignity.
I'm irrelevant.
Go drink an Ensure.
Hey, listen, Archer, bro, stop harassing this this girl.
Now, Dan.
You know, respect women, please.
Archer's gotta pick on someone who's like 19 years old because it makes him feel
Dude, I
good.
crush you every day, so.
Fucking pick it on a 19-year-old woman.
She's 19? Holy shit.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
19. Does your mom know you're speaking with that kind of language?
Yes, she does, and she thinks you're a
You
faggot.
kiss your
No, but I kiss your dad with my mouth.
You don't suck your dad's dick with that mouth, do you?
Wow.
Oh, I suck your dad's dick with my mouth.
Is
This
that
is how-
your only comeback? Your
This is how you
dad?
talk to
That's the
teenage-
worst, dude.
This is how you talk to
Learn-
teenage women? Wow.
How much you
Hey,
charge?
Archer, why are you
I
talking
don't know
to this
how much.
lady like
My
this?
dad says-
yeah?
Do you have an OnlyFans
Sexist.
account I can
pig.
donate to?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, nigga?
Your dad got tired of your whore mother, so he fucked me.
That's it? That's all?
Hey,
Yes.
I was in search.
You suck.
I was in search of the final boss.
Holy
Can you guys
shit.
point me in the right direction?
He was
Yes,
here
I'm right
yesterday.
here, bro.
Oh, no,
Right
no, no.
here. I'm right here, bro.
How's it going, man?
It's going well. I'm a bit tired,
Are
you know,
you-
listening to
Are you
Archer.
self-appointed?
Yes, I am.
That means he's the only one that thinks he's the final boss here.
I'm a final.
No, there's a guy that has the.
What's the difference?
Hear what I say. We are the business today. Fuck shit is finished today. RT&J, we the new PB&J. We dropped the classic today. We did a tablet of acid today. Lit joints with the matches and actions away. We dash away. Donna and Dixon, the pistol is blasting away.
Doctors of death, killing our patients of breath. We are the pain you can trust. Fucking it work, hooking up curses and slurs. Smoking my brain in the mush. I became famous for blaming you fucks. Naming my way through the brush. There was no training or taming of me and my bruh. Live like a man, but I'm animal raw.
We are the murderers there. That went to jail and we murdered the murderers there. Then went to hell and discovered the devil delivered some hurt and despair. Used to have powder to push. Now I smoke pounds of the kush. Holy, I'm burning the bush. Now I give a fuck about none of this shit. You run her over and out of this bitch.
Step into the spotlight. Copying of uppers and downers get done. I'm in a rush to be numb. Dropping 1,000 ain't much. Come from the clouds on a missile to turn us all down in the dust. Don't make a sound, baby, hush. I am the living swipe right on the mic, I'm a slut. I don't know how to not spit like a loud. I spit it pound on my kids on your couch.
Half of a Mongol and mythical team, dealing this treacherous things. Legend says L is a spawn out of hell. The myth is my mama's a murderous queen. Yo, I can end like in Godfather 1. You get the gun as I christen my son. If I die today in this hell, I should pay. Tell the Lord Mikey said, fuck, it was fun.
Every new record's my dick in a box. We get a doozy, the moolah's a lot. You're getting used to me doing no wrong. I don't play chicken, you prick, I'm a fox. You wanna kick it, I'll give you the rock. You kiss the wood chipper blade if you bark. I'm fucking magic, in fact, I'm a warlock and talk. I got a unicorn horn for it.
Stop.
Step into the spotlight. And the crowd goes. And the crowd goes. And the crowd goes. And the crowd goes.
Okay. Mike Pin the jelly won't snitch. I rent a room at the Ritz. I sip a fifth of the whiz. I smoke a dub in the tub. Then I was flip on my wrist.
I'll pull a sword in new sense, just with a flick of the wrist. Get your neck giving a miss. Me and my skip away, whistling and grin. Every day's golden when you only win.
Bullying bastards and beating on beats. Sounds like a day at the beach. Preach. I keep the middle school step on your feet before you can speak. Blow to the feet.
We move from one on ones, you think I'm me. You think I'm lying, you right, see my teeth. Don't be a bore when I'm wrong if I move. Hunting's no fun when your prey doesn't move. I put a gun to a bunny like truth. Say something funny, your bunny go boom. You got a bevy of shit you could groove. We like to thank you for choosing our crew.
And that's from the crew you can trust. Warranty plus for fucking shit up. We are the no-gooders, do-gooders, known of the dancers and dealers and doers of dust.
If you have a message to send, just lower the people you don't mind manually on your own, and then just keep going. Because then I can listen to you, you know what I mean? Without any distraction.
Man, I'm too tired, bro. I'm too tired. Nicole.
Do you guys have any beef with like Sam Harris, Jordan Peterson, Stephen King?
Wait, John. Shut up! You're so boring.
Tell me, the intellectual dark web.
John,
Yo,
you ready?
what up, man?
If you had a flat tire right now,
I would smack your ass.
I would fix it. If I had a flat
By
tire,
smacking your ass.
I'll get a jack and jack it up. And then take
Yeah, by jacking your
where
ass.
would you place the jack?
In your ass.
Is this like supposed to be a trick question? Are you like coming on to me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she is. Congratulations. She actually is, yeah.
Are you coming on to me? That was...
What's going on here? I'm just here to share some red pills.
Right.
Some 20-year-old
Archer,
kid
stop.
who has no life
No,
experience is gonna share some
Archer,
red
you're
pills.
making
I
me
got you.
laugh. I swear to God, bro. Oh my God, the attitude.
Share away there, John.
Listen, so I think that all these people talking about religion and debating about God. I think it's so cringe. It's fucking terrible. It's like they're stuck in the early 2000s.
That's
New age
right,
is
dude.
just booming.
All the way in the early
Yeah.
2000s? Jesus Christ, that's back in the past.
Yeah, fuck that shit, man. They're just a
So,
bunch of crazy people.
Fuck me, what to be older than the early 2000s?
Listen, there's this man named Joseph Campbell. You guys should get into him. He went around
Okay,
the
can
world
you write
studying-
can you write that name on
Yeah.
Nicole's tits, bro? Can you do that?
What is
Can you
On
guys tell me what
Nicole's
you know
tits,
about-
write that
about
name, okay?
archetypes?
Thank you. Look, man, bro, look.
what do you guys know about
Honestly, we talk about this shit, bro. I love talking about this shit, but right now I'm a bit tired and I only have energy to bullshit around, you know. So
Archer
don't
is
take it.
the bully.
Sarge, are you talking? Because I-
Grandstander.
I'm not. You don't have to be a debate. You can just talk, man. You don't have
Bro,
to,
Nicole is a
there's no
slut,
expectations
man.
here.
She's a slut. She's a slut and a slut.
Grandstander.
Nicole,
bully.
seriously, you're a slut, Nicole.
Are you saying she's a slut because she came on to me?
Don't talk to women like
Yes.
that.
Yes, that's why. Yes. You know,
it seems
because
to me like sluts have the most fun. What do you think?
well, no, because me and her, we already discussed that this is not an open relationship, you know, and she's being a slut.
But what if like it's more fun to be a slut?
It doesn't matter. It's destructive, bro. It's destructive.
I'm not sure if it doesn't matter. Then it doesn't seem
It does
to me like
matter.
you're taking in. Well, if you like her, you would want her to be happy, right?
No, not to that extent, no, because you got to take care of your own
Well, the
interests
latest
as
is
well.
this sailor
Nicole,
was
don't-
one of about 550 that we know of that had tested positive for the coronavirus. This sailor has sadly passed away. We don't know much about that sailor. We'll find out more pending notification to the next of kin. But the entire controversy about this really shines a spotlight into how the Trump administration deals with some of its military commanders. You'll recall Captain Crozier made this urgent plea earlier in April talking about the need to what the actual need was and how badly they needed to get individuals and sailors off that ship. Eventually, he was relieved of command. The Navy Secretary flew out there on April 6th, appeared to disparage him in public remarks, and then the acting Navy Secretary, he tendered his resignation. We'll see if President Donald Trump weighs in on this today, if he appears at the briefing. In the past, he said he'd like to mediate the dispute, and he said that Captain Crozier had a stellar career. Ari?
Hans Nichols at the White House on that story. Thank you very much. Obviously, a sad update to it.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC.